Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody out there in the YouTube universe. We welcome you to our January 3rd, um, photo lounge image review, our first one for this year. And we have distinguished panel members here, and we have Anita Stewart joining us tonight, which is a pleasure. And David is on route, or in travel mode, to visit his dad, so he won't be on here too long. And there's no video feed, but we can hear him. And of course we have Roy and Gustavo and Randall, and Chuck is here. And Chuck, I hope you had a great holiday season. Hope you had a good time. And we have Terry, of course. So we have 88 images. I got to learn to point the right way. There we go. So difficult. We have 88 images to share, and I hope everyone enjoyed bringing in the new year with family and friends, and enjoyed their Christmas holiday. And I thank everybody in advance for what you sent in, because I realize kind of hard to go through images and try to do it around the holiday season when you're busy and you're running around like crazy and traveling and getting probably stuck in snow somewhere. So we appreciate the images that we got from everyone. And we'll go around circle here. We'll go to Roy and then work our way across and down. And everybody, you guys say hello and let everybody know what you've been up to.
I've been slack this week. Still recovering from Christmas.
Well, you had someone trying to break into your house a few minutes ago as well that you showed me. So
yeah, the cockatoos have worked out how to open the sliding doors. I have to lock them now, or they come inside and help themselves to the feed.
Has he opened up the ice box yet?
No, they haven't worked that out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Roy calls the police to report a breaking and entering, and they say, "Well, describe the perpetrator." And he says, "Well, it's white and it has like this on its head, and makes a lot of noise, and it's trying to pick my locks and confused."
I used to have a dustbin outside with octopus straps all over it. They worked out how to pull the octopus straps off and lift the lid and get inside.
Wow.
They're pretty clever birds.
Smart suckers, aren't they?
How long do they live? About 80 years?
I think in the wild, about 50, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A bit too long at the moment.
No.
And Gustavo, tell everybody a little bit about your adventure.
Yeah, so no, most of last week I was with family here. My son came to visit from Ohio, so the whole house dynamic changes, correct? With friends coming in and out to get with him. He's traveling back home today, so. But we also took the opportunity to go with him to Moab, and actually it was an excellent trip in the middle of the winter. Not many people in the park. The weather cooperated, but my astrophotography was not so good. So I think the only way to learn is to fail, and definitely on that front fail. But the landscape photography was good enough.
Yes, your landscape photography was this. So
Exactly.
don't be too hard on yourself about the other one,
Exactly. And you will see some of those today. And obviously, we got some exciting news on the upcoming shows. See, we started to put a nice agenda for 2026.
Yeah, don't write out your checks with 2025 on them like I tend to do. And David, I know you'll say hi to everybody. I mean, we could hear you fine.
Well, yeah, I'm here on the East Coast of Canada. It's having a fairly good time. It's the astrophotography is not that good. We got a full moon tonight, and you got clouds on the north horizon, so it doesn't matter what it looks like. But I've been out already doing a bit of night photography tonight, and I've been out other nights doing low light stuff. So I've been keeping busy doing that, and it's on the 1st of January we have levees here, and I made it to 10, which is which is a low number for me, but that's enough because the on the first in the afternoon the snow started, and it was a combination of rain and snow, and so it covered all of the roads with a nice sheet of ice, and so that there's grooves going down, so you got to watch it when you're driving. So the speed limit may be 80, but everybody's doing 60,
Mm.
and lots of times they're doing an awful lot less than that. Anyway, that's what I've been up to, and I'll pass it over to Anita.
And I'm just back from a holiday in Portugal, and I certainly can say that most people should go to Portugal. It's a lovely place to visit, and the weather is far more nicer in Portugal than it is here in Canada right now. David was saying about the weather where he is. Well, it's no better here where I am. The last time I saw the sun was the day I dropped David at the airport and was driving home, and I had sunshine, and I have not seen the sun since. We've had freezing rain, snow, truck is covered with ice. Not nice weather, but it's not freezing cold. It's only about minus 13 for a change. So that's what I've been up to. No photos for me, not out in this weather.
Randall, what have you been up to? I see the cat has taken over your bed.
Yeah, so it's been kind of like let's see, what is it? 86, 85 degrees here, which would be 29.44 Celsius in where you are in Canada. So it's almost like in Australia. 30 degrees. You're probably still in what, 40 or 35 at least in Australia. But I mean, enjoyed my Christmas with the family. Went to got me the Monster adapter, which for the D lenses from Nikon. I did about 3 or 4 videos on it. It's not too hot, but it's the first iteration of it, and it worked on 3 of mine. And
Yeah, as you know, Roy didn't have much luck with his when he talked about
Mine
it.
may be faulty. Mine may be a fault. Doesn't work.
and there are problems with, like, on his 24 millimeter. I had the same problem with my 24 millimeter. It kept focus breathing, and he kept hearing the motor going in and out, in and out. But
And flashing.
basically, 2026 is a good year so far. Paid my taxes, paid insurance. So I'm ready to get some new gear and take more photos. And I hear the bird. He's noisy.
Over
Yeah,
there they are.
Yeah.
Crows.
I've never been called a crow before. I'll take it. And Chuck,
Boy,
how
it is.
are things going with you, Chuck?
Well, we've got a lot of snow all over the driveway and everything. So we're not enjoying the 85 degrees that everybody's got. So I guess I'm still here, still trying with my lease fees. Yeah. Well, keep trying.
So you out there with the snow blower, or hopefully you got somebody doing it for you?
Yeah. So we had somebody come and do it for me.
Yeah, I do not miss the days of snow blowing. I'll tell you that, not at all.
No, not at all. Me either.
No. When eventually when you get to Tennessee, you won't have to worry about it.
That's right. Sure is. I'll pass it on my I'll pass it. Pass it.
Terry, what have you been doing?
Well, nothing important. That's because we were expecting the full moon, but my weather program was saying that yesterday would be, and actually it was cloudy. I came before yesterday. I jump out from a backyard here and make some photographs, which I don't know why. I have done it so many times. There's nothing really crazy about it. But I tried the 180-600 with the two teleconverter,
Okay.
and I think on 1200 was really good. Just a small, a little bit sharpening,
Okay.
nothing more than that. Yeah, would be all right. Was all right. We are 65 Fahrenheit here today, Randall.
Wow. That's
Nice and cool.
Yeah, for a summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me. Nothing more.
So we'll see who we have in the chat here. We've got Robert here from Connecticut. Hello, Robert. And we've got we got Ted Art Bear here. We got Ted. Hello, Ted. Hope you're doing well. And I don't really have anybody else.
we got
Anybody-
12 watching.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, I'm showing 14. And there is a link at the beginning of that I put at the before the show started, folks. So if there is anybody who, at some point in time, either after the photo review, wants to pop in and say hi and join the panel members and talk about anything, you're always welcome to do so. So we have since 81 joining us. Happy 2026 to you as well. All I can say is we haven't been in it long enough for me to make a determination whether I like it yet or not. Time will tell. But we will, real Nikon lovers popping in. So we got, so Jim is here. So, hello to everybody. And like I said, thank you all for sending in the images that you did, especially around the holidays. It's really hard. I know I was doing mine, literally going through mine like 2 days ago. And I'm not usually like that, but I was just like, oh man, I got to get my own done here. Never mind going through all the other ones. But so anyway, we might as well get started. I do have a little bit of photo news for later on, and I know Gustavo has some things that he wants to bring up in terms of future shows and what's going on. And just a reminder to everybody that we do have the January 14th world premiere with Sanjapal Singh on 12 o'clock p.m. noontime here in the United States. That we're going to be doing it on a Wednesday. And so I encourage those of you that can attend to do so. I know it's not the best time for a lot of folks in the United States, but I think, we're going to try to do an occasional Wednesday show. I mean, I feel bad that, we just haven't done it. Chuck did a great job of having a balance between, doing the 2 shows a week, on the Wednesday and the Saturday show. So we'll try to sneak in some Wednesday shows every once in a while, I think, just to, share the love to some people that probably haven't seen us in quite a while. And So anyway, let's see if there's anything else. Any questions, obviously, due to QQQ. And there weren't really a ton of rumors, so that's not going to take too long when we're done with the images. So we might as well bring the images up and get started, since we have 88 of them to do. Let me take me a second here to get it all set up. And then we will. There we go. There's a bit of a delay there. Yeah, things are running slow here.
Well, we can see it. We can see it. We can see that.
Yeah, I'm trying to maximize it. I don't think it's maximized, but it's not really doing anything.
Let me see if I can.
Press F.
And let me. I don't usually have this showing, so let me get rid of this. We don't need that. All right, so we will start going through these images.
So who is first?
So the first ones we have, no surprise, is our friend Bob Reppert, or my friend Bob Reppert. Hopefully everybody else's as well. So
Yes.
Bob got his in first, and then we're going to have some images from Michael Dries, and then we have a gentleman named Ralph who shared images with us for the first time on our last image review, and he sent in some more for this one. So Ralph is a new contributor from North Carolina. So he's not in the chat yet, but hopefully he will join us. And he sent in a few images. So we got Ralph, Michael, and Bob is first up here. So we'll start with his. So obviously his first image is of a Rosetta spoonbill, and he took a couple images of this. It's really nice. I mean, we have so many static shots of these birds that will hang around an extra period of time to try to catch them when they're in flight. And sometimes we have to wait for hours. They get in a spot. They're not usually in a hurry to leave and move. So we hang around until, as long as we can tolerate it, and then eventually sometimes they wear us out, and we say, well, we're going to look for something else instead of waiting for them to fly, because sometimes it could be 6 hours later before they decide to fly. It could be 10 minutes later. You can't predict anything with nature. We all know that, those of us that take wildlife photos. Then we were at the North Beach. And
so before you go, so in the first photo there was like a purple thing. Do you know what that is underneath the head of the spoonbill?
No, I was trying to figure that out. I don't know if that's his.
The other wing?
I don't know if that's that. Yes, that's what it is. It's the tip of the other wing on the other side of the body.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Exactly.
Nice detail. I love the photo.
Yeah, that's
ear. That's what I asked you. Yeah.
Either that or it got a big ear on one side. And we do get some pretty good sunrises sometimes.
Yeah.
And then he went through his archives here, and he got the younger green herons in the foliage. I mean, of course, all these, baby or juvenile birds in the springtime, they're always in the foliage. I mean, they don't make it easy to even get a shot of them.
No, of course.
It's pretty hard to get one where there isn't plant life in front of them somewhere.
You are too exposed. The eagles can get you.
Yes. Yeah. And then we had a little alligator adventure. And Roy likes his alligators.
I do. They're so cuddly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have tried very hard to not have the urge to give him a hug personally.
Nice pair of boots.
Yeah. So that's everything. So from Bob. So thank you, Bob, if you're in the chat, and appreciate you sending those in. And then we'll move on to what we got from Michael Drees, and along with the stories behind these images. I love this shot. The eyes are so tack sharp. It's wonderful. So he starts off to say he had an incredible session earlier this week photographing short-eared owls in a snowstorm. It was difficult focusing through the heavy flakes, but he found that racking the focus with the manual focus ring really helped. And he found out that the Z8 handles high ISO levels quite well if the image is properly exposed. And he likes the denoise function. Adobe denoise is amazing, is what he said.
Yeah.
And we all use probably a combination of different types of denoising depending on our images. I'm sure we have more. Everybody has typically more than one denoise program. But this is with the he had the 400 millimeter f2.8 TC, and he had the TC engaged, so he was at 560 millimeters when he took this shot. 1/3200th of a second f4 ISO 16,000, and it looks fantastic for ISO 16,000. No issue at all.
Yeah. And tremendous photo, correct? I mean, the mood of the photo is fantastic. The fact that the owl is, facing him and looking at him,
Yeah.
lying on the side, composition excellent. Wow, lovely photo. What can I say?
Yeah, and his comment about the autofocus being difficult, when you get the snowflakes,
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna play havoc with you a little bit, and his trick with just trying to adjust the manual focus ring a little bit, to get it so you're closer to that focus point before you hit the button and hold it, saves you a lot of time. But wonderful shot. I mean, I just love how detailed the face is. That would look good on a stamp,
Wow.
So his next image is a raven is kind of going at the owl, and I'll tell you, it's amazing. It's amazing how in nature, I mean, the raven's a relatively, fairly decent sized bird, but I mean, many a time, you see very, very, very small birds attacking predatory birds, like owls and ospreys and eagles and stuff. And you're like, what are you guys thinking? You want a suicide mission? But they're very, very brave, harassing, a bird that can take them out pretty easy. I'm always amazed by that.
Not in this case. The ravens are pretty formidable.
Yeah. And then with them too, I mean, sometimes you get them in groups too, not just one hanging around, And this one was a more reasonable ISO 4500, 1/2500th of a second f4 with the same lens with the TC turned on as well. And then we move on to his next shot. This is cool where he, blurred out the background. Obviously, the sun is hitting that building or barn, whatever it is. And this is a male northern harrier, gray ghost, as they call it, gliding past a farmhouse in central Pennsylvania. He says great results with 2 teleconverters engaged, but he found the autofocus was a bit slower. So he's trying to incorporate some man-made structures into his wildlife images. And this is with the Nikon Z8, with the 400-2.8, with the TC, with an internal with an external 1.4 TC added on as well. So he's at f5.6 at 784 millimeters, 1/2500th of a second, ISO 3600.
Oh, Michael, I take my hat on this image as well. Fantastic.
And I'm sure, I don't know if he is with us in the chat because I can't see who's in the chat, and I'm sure he probably held his handheld as well. I'm sure he did. I don't think he had a tripod, but if we see him in the chat, we can ask him. And then his last image that he sent in, he says this is a photo of his new friend, Wilmer, riding his pony Jack. He said he, along with his twin brother Wayne, are Amish boys who reside on a farm near the site with the short-eared owls and the harriers. He says when they see my car, they ride over to talk with me. I asked if it was okay to photograph them, and they said, yeah, sure. They love seeing wildlife photos, so I shared some images from my website via my phone. Wayne was fascinated with the iPhone, and after a bit of instruction, he shot a few videos and photos of his brother riding the pony. He says, I hope I'm not a bad influence on them. Many of the Amish are very good birders. Most are okay with being photographed as long as they are not posing for the image. It's a fascinating culture. He says we have numerous Amish and Mennonite communities in central Pennsylvania. Bob from Bob Our Photos has taken a lot of pictures of the Amish community, and when he goes to Pennsylvania to visit family, he's friends with some of the Amish, and he goes and visits him while he's up there in Pennsylvania, and he goes to Philly, and then he goes up to where the Amish are and stops by and buys some of their food and takes it back in a cooler with him, brings it home. So this is also with the Nikon Z8 with the same lens. This one was at f2.8, 1/1256th of a second, ISO 16,000. And this was at, I guess, 400 millimeters. So he didn't have the TC turned on in this case. So nice shot. Nice shot. Anita's saying, I'd like to pet that horse, I'm sure.
Yeah, mind.
Yeah, you'd probably be, you're the horse whisperer, so.
It looks kind of small, so.
Yeah, it does. It looks small, yeah.
I'd say it's more of a pony than a horse.
Pony, yeah.
Okay.
So the next set of images are from Ralph from North Carolina. And give me a second here. So the first image is of what I could, once again, 2 years in a row now, I haven't been able to get, Bob and I have not been able to get any pictures of the cedar waxwings. Last year, we had mockingbirds scaring them off from the trees that had the berries on them and whatnot that they like to eat, and would not let them go into the trees to feed. And then this year, they must have showed up at nighttime or something. I don't know, because we were checking the the bushes that they like to feed from. And one day we went and looked, and there were no berries left on it. They were all wiped out. So they showed up at some point in time when we weren't there and wiped out everything and just moved on to a different area. But love these birds, but 2 years in a row it got skunked, so I'm not too happy about that.
Beautiful.
No, I don't have too much luck with those two, Jeff. So you're not alone.
Yeah, it's timing. You know, they're only when we do get them. I mean, because they don't stick around. I mean, they just wipe out what's on the trees, and then they they might move to another part of the park. In my case, or they may be 2 miles away, feeding somewhere else, and they just keep going where the food supply is. So they don't stick around long. And if you're having a bad week and not able to get out, take pictures, it could be the week they were there and you don't get them. As simple as that. Very frustrating. Then the next shot is
Oh,
this right here.
very moody.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's a great shot.
Yeah.
yeah. I haven't seen any with a rack down here. It's always when I do have a rare opportunity to see one, it's always the female. And now this next shot, I did email him and I asked him what kind of bird this was because it's a silhouette. So he wrote back it was a dot witcher, and I never heard of a dot witcher. I heard of a dew witcher, but not a dot witcher. But then when I looked it up, there is a bird called a dot witcher. So I don't really know what the difference is between the two, but I didn't know there was a dot witcher. I always thought it was just a dew witcher.
A beautiful image.
Yes.
Nice silhouette.
Yeah.
Now here's a shot I would love to get because I love painted buntings, and to get one, when you get one isolated on a branch like that, it's nice because usually they hang around any feeders that there may be or whatever, and to find one in the that lands where you could still get a picture of it if they're assuming it's near some kind of a feeder. But if you get one in the wild, that's even rarer. I mean, I got a picture of one in the woods one time. I almost had a stroke. I'm like, what are you doing here? I'm like, wow. You're at the bottom of a tree. What are you doing there?
And he got it with a wonderful background, correct?
Yes, very nice. And then he got a
Definitely that the most colorful bird in North America.
yeah. But Terry sent a picture in of a bird that we'll see eventually here that has colors that surpass that painted bunting, believe it or not. I didn't think
That's
there'd be.
Australia. That's Australia.
Yeah, that's true. That's Australia. But now this is a hooded warbler. And I know he sometimes comes down to South Carolina and goes to the same park that I go to, but so I don't know whether some of these pictures were from South Carolina or if they were all taken in North Carolina. But I don't see too many hooded warblers in where I am. I mean, once in a great while.
A great image.
Yeah, very good. So Ralph, if you're in the chat or you watch the show tomorrow or whatever, thank you so much for sending in the images.
Indeed.
Appreciate it.
Nice, very nice.
And now we'll move to. Well, I'm gonna. I always put them in order of how I get them, but the next ones I got from Scubarazzi, and he doesn't show up till near the end of the show. So I'm
No,
gonna
he's here. He's
Yeah,
here.
he's here.
Is he
He's
here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna show him now then.
So that he can go back to sleep.
He can go back to sleep. Okay, that works. All right.
So we have Paul.
That's good. So his let's see. Let me
Good
see
comment.
here. So I'll read his narrative. He always has a great narrative. So he says last time during I'll start talking before I show his next picture, his first picture. He says last time during the December review, he was in Prague, the beautiful capital of the Czech Republic. He says it's a very historic city with a lot of old buildings, and even the World War I and World War II, and the communists were not able to totally destroy it. He says the communists did already a good job, but since 1989, the Czech people were able to restore everything so that today it looks nice again. And he says, unfortunately for him, Prague is very popular for tourists, so it's totally overcrowded, and that 12 months a year, he says, as it's in the center of Europe and a lot of tourists from Europe because it's close and relatively well priced. But he says they also do get more and more Asian and American tourists. He says, I know it doesn't look like that on my images because I did invest a lot of time. I'll bring up his first image. He says, I did invest a lot of time and did get up very early to be there before all the others. But at the end of the day, that was also part of the problem. He says he hoped to take some pictures of Prague with snow, but unfortunately this winter is a very mild one so far. And he did not want to take some pictures of the beautiful Christmas markets, or he did want to take pictures of the beautiful Christmas markets, but there were so many people, it just didn't look nice at all. So this first image that you're looking at is of the famous Carl's Bridge. This impressive bridge was built between 1357 and 1402. It was built to connect the old city of Prague. And I got a typo here, under the castle, or I got a word in here I screwed up. So if you want to take the picture of the bridge with almost no people, you have two options. You either cause a pandemic, or what he did is you need to get up very early, and when the weather's not great, people are missing.
Morning.
He says normally at this time you might only have a handful of photographers and people who go to work. In the afternoon, the bridge is so full you cannot even move. He says to get rid of these people, I did take a long exposure on a tripod and a long focal length. The long focal length and the camera close to the ground gives a nice perspective. He says I also reduced the saturation on the picture as the lamps give it an orange glow that he does not like too much. So this is with the Z5 II, the Tamron 18-300 at 300 millimeter, 8-second exposure, f7.1, ISO 64.
Yeah, wonderful image, and definitely the fact that he got some wet pavement makes the photo, right?
Yeah.
So
No,
Now his next image is of the same bridge.
oh, wonderful.
This was taken at the same time as the other one, but shot in the opposite direction. He said, unfortunately, there was a lot of fog. Otherwise, one would see the castle of Prague in the background. He says, you might see it a little bit, but not too much. He says, the editing here is similar to the previous one, but he did take the image handheld, not on a tripod. Same camera, Z52, same lens. 1/13 of a second, f3.5, ISO 3200 at 18 millimeters.
Lovely.
Yeah, very nice. I like how, I mean, it's like perfectly exposed area inside the arch there is nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he says this is basically the same image with the same perspective like before, just after sunrise. He says as the weather was still not good, there were not too many people yet. In the background on the right top, he says you can see the castle. Unfortunately, the weather was not great. That's why the sky looks so sad. But this is normal in December in Prague. And same camera, same lens, 1/60th of a second, f5.6, ISO 200 at 24 millimeter. Nice that, you know, have a shot with a few people in it, but not hundreds.
That's funny, correct? Because it's typically you get this type of human landscape, and you get one or two people, fantastic. You get a crowd, it ruins your photo.
Yeah. Now this is the same bridge, but he took this from a side view,
Oh, lovely.
and so he says you can now see the castle on the top much better. The dark structure with the towers is the Vitus Cathedral. This is only one of the buildings belonging to the castle. The whole building, the buildings in the front are also part of it. The Prague's castle is officially the biggest castle in the world,
Ooh.
even bigger than Versailles. In the front of the bridge, you could see some people with kayaks. In the afternoon, you see many big touristy river boats that destroy all the images as the look gets really disturbed by all those larger boats. And once again, same camera, same lens at 37 millimeters this time.
Is the lens vignetting or his own?
I'm not sure. We'll have to ask him. Paul, is that vignetting that you had with the lens, and you chose to leave it in, or did you add it?
He actually made a comment here, which I was going to, on his own photo, that I was going to say that indeed it looked like a film photo,
Yeah.
a film photo. So indeed, Paul.
Now this next image he sent is gorgeous. This is the National Theater in the nighttime. The theater was built in 1881. There's an island in the middle of the river, Vitava, where he did shoot this image from. And same camera, the same lens, 2.5 seconds, f/20, ISO 100 at 51 millimeters. Then a more special image of this theater. He shot this and he did his famous trick with the crystal ball that he likes to do once in a while.
Okay.
He says, as it's not possible to have the real theater and the one in the ball in focus, not even at f/20, he did make a focus stack image. In this case, he only had to stack 2 images, one where the ball is sharp and one where the theater is sharp.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Very cool.
For an interesting photo, right?
Yeah. And let's see. And he says, and what would my images be without animals? So at first I thought, this is what similar to like a beaver, I guess, in the U.S. He says, besides 3 kingfishers he saw, but didn't get any nice images, he did run into these guys. He was taking early morning time lapses with the Carl's Bridge, and then suddenly this nutria came by, and he says they're like raccoons, not native to Europe. They also have a very similar story. They were imported from the Americas for the fur production, and some of them escaped. Now their numbers explode. In Prague, people feed them, which is why they're not afraid of humans, and they're very cheeky. This one posed in front of the Carl's Bridge. It gives you a little bit of a surreal image, and he has some very interesting shots of this critter and or its friends. I'm not sure if they're all of the same one. Here's one, the next shot with one swimming with the Carl's Bridge in the background. It says it was taken from the other side of the bridge, from the inland mentioned in one of the other images. He says in the afternoon there were people feeding the nutrias, so that at the end he counted 8 of them. It was not easy to get one that was not focused on the people feeding them. And then
I love the prior image. It tells the story, correct? It tells the story. Lovely photo, Paul.
And then he got this one. This one he shot after sunset with the theater in the background. He did use a Godox flash. That's why the animal's well lit. With the same camera as the Z52, Tamron 18-300, 1/160th of a second, f/3.8 ISO 500 at 30 millimeters. And this last image is just a riot. I mean, your guys are going to go nuts. And Paul is always he definitely adds comedic value to this show in a very subtle way. He says in this last image he needed an assistant, and here's his assistant. And if you look carefully, you could see that little piece of orange carrot on the top of the camera.
Oh, okay.
Entice it to be there. But that isn't a stuffed one. He didn't like shoot one, have it stuffed, and stick it in front of the camera. It went to the front of the camera. He says before the people started to feed him, he hoped it would be curious with what he was doing. And it took a while till a juvenile came along and started to harass him for food. So he motivated it with a carrot to look into the camera with the theater in the background. He says, but it was not that easy. He says, I think they do not see very well, because it did not see the piece of carrot on top of the camera, but was still focused on him. He says, eventually I did manage to take a few shots, and this is the result. And that is like so funny.
That would win an award right there.
Oh yeah, that you should enter. That's great. That's just a.
And you see the comment?
No, I can't see the comments.
I mean, everybody. I mean, I'm sharing the comment with everybody. So, and something I have to say, I hate the flippy screen on the C52. Not a fan of flippy screen, but lovely photos, Paul. And you can see this is the quality of good photographers that we have here. That to take a good photo, he's even willing to risk his camera by putting it where there can be an accident.
Yeah.
I hope Paul got a model release for this one.
Exactly.
Yeah, can you put your? I'll put some ink on your paw. Can you like put your hand on this piece of paper, please? Paul, wonderful set of images as always. Very, very good, well done. And this one's a classic. I mean, this one really is. I mean, I almost fell out of my chair when I saw this one.
And I mean, just to have the presence of mind. That's everybody has his own creativity, right? But to put a little camera on top so that he was going to get this, get the other camera, fantastic, Paul.
So the next set of images, we've got images. Terry's are next. Then we have Luis sent in some images from Japan that he took in 2023. And then we have pictures from David Stewart. And I believe from if my memory is working correctly, I think Anita was shooting with him in the same location, so she could probably help talk about him a little bit. I do have his verbiage that he sent with it. But anyway, let's move on to Terry's shots. As he says, a few photos of birds from down under to start the new year.
All right.
And Gala, I think is what he called this bird. Gala. So was this in is this one near where you're on your property near your house, or did you have to traverse to get this shot?
No, close here to the park. It is less noisy than Roy's tattoos. But I like them.
Beautiful.
Roy's are trying to break in the house to rob his kitchen, rob his refrigerator.
The Gala are not so inconsiderable. No, they're much more shy.
And this was with the 100 to 400, which is a great lens. And then we'll go to your next one here. Beautiful shot.
Beautiful.
And you called this a swamp harrier, I believe.
Yeah.
So I love the detail on that bird.
I was lucky because it was the only one turned around. There were 5 or 6 of them. And that was the only one turned towards the sun, his back toward the sun. Otherwise, all of them, they were black. I was
Yeah.
seeing just black figures, nothing more. And this one turned, and I had the chance to grab it.
So the next shot is Terry's competitor to our painted bunting in the States.
Oh, beautiful.
Isn't that something?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a fun bird for a young kid to paint in a coloring book or
Yeah.
color in a
And-
coloring book.
And they have some variety. It's not all of them the same.
Yeah.
Sometimes change the chest or the cheek or even the head. But all of them are the same. It's the William finch.
Now, is this the male or is the female look similar? Or is
I'm not sure. I haven't really dig on that.
yeah.
But just like the colors.
Yeah, that's just amazing color. on that bird. That purple is something too. Very
Yeah,
pretty.
see one with a black head instead of red and blue chest. It is magnificent.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some people that poach those birds and sell them. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it is actually, it isn't illegal here. It is some birders which they sell them. They how call it, breed them.
Yeah. They were common in the pet trade.
It
years
is.
back.
Yeah, it is not so common, but yes, you can.
No, I
you
mean,
can.
even in the international pet trade, correct? You could see it in markets and places here in the United States. They're wonderful, but seeing them in the wild is always different.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. And then Roy's pal.
Yeah.
Roy's pal left Roy's house and went over to see Terry. Now, this last shot that you sent in, I think you may have sent in a picture of the species once before, because I was always amazed how much different your version of a spoonbill is versus what we have in the States with the black head, black face, and the black bills. Really
They
neat.
had an altercation for a couple of minutes there. It's probably family, but I'm not sure if the winery is intruder.
Can't get the kid to leave the house. We're crying
No,
out
was
loud.
coming back. I
Yeah.
think the problem was because he was coming back.
Yeah, you're 30 years old. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, Terry, it's a great set of shots.
Yeah, wonderful series, Terry. Very nice.
Thanks.
Very, very nice. Now, where now? It looks like there's water behind them.
Yeah, this is a little, a small sort of lake. It is a swamp of lake. It is not so close here, but not so far. It's close towards Hastings. Roy will know the
Yeah,
area.
yeah. It's interesting with the.
Lately, I've been there, but it was dry.
I mean, I like the
And
bark
birds.
on the. I like the color of the branches and stuff on that tree. You know, that's really neat.
Well, is that cotton or what type of flower is that?
No. This is a local. It is not prickly. I think it is the one we call a bottleneck. How call this? The cleaning apparatus. They have the same name for this bird, for this flower.
Mm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Luis is taking, and Terry, thank you so much for those. They're great.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Luis sent in some images, like I said a few minutes ago, from a trip that he had in Japan in 2023. And it's funny, you know, because there's been some that, oh, you guys only show bird pictures. It's like, well, we show what people send in, you know. So I think Luis took it personal. So he says, I'm doing my best to keep the amount of birds down. So this time, no birds at all. So he didn't have to send any bird photos. So he decided to send in pictures of cuter things in birds, such as this guy, Japanese rat.
Oh, wow.
That he saw trying to cross a road in the mountains of Iwate, Iwate. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. The Z8 with the get this, Gustavo, the 500 PF, buddy. Don't you miss it? Don't you miss it? F63, 1/500th of a second at ISO 500. So that's the Japanese rat snake.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then he,
I love the red eyes.
yeah.
Me.
Then he got this wonderful Japanese tree frog on the reeds adjacent to a pond west of Nagano, and he used a D7100 with a Tokina 100 millimeter lens. At f11, 1/250th of a second, ISO 2000, and he used a flash with a diffuser on it.
Yeah. That green is almost, you know, phosphoric. I mean, it's incredible.
It's gorgeous.
It almost looks like a foil or something, the way it's wrinkled on, you know, the wrinkles and everything show up so nice. And then this was shot, the next one shot in a park in Tokyo of a blue bottle, common blue bottle butterfly in Tokyo. He went with the camera as low as he could to get it right from the side view with the Z8 with the 500 PF once again. And then
He's a wonderful wildlife photographer because he will take wildlife photographers everywhere in the world.
yeah. And his last shot he took is of a Japanese maquette.
Yes.
I believe that's how it's pronounced. Taken from his car near Nagano. He says the maquettes he saw in Japan were keeping their distance from them. This one stayed still, but all he could reach for in his car was the Z8 with the 500 PF. So basically, he was forced into a portrait shot, whether he liked it or not. But it's a nice shot, so nothing to complain about.
Oh, yeah.
So, Luis, thank you for sending those images in. As always, greatly appreciated. Well done. You give us a wildlife expose in different countries constantly. Really cool.
So who's coming now?
Now, the next images are from Mr. Stewart, David Stewart, followed by Anita's shots. And then after Anita, we have Gustavo's shots.
Okay.
And I spelled your name wrong, Gustavo. I typed it Gustava, so I'm changing your name to Gustavo. I type fast sometimes when I'm doing these, and I muck up simple things. I had pretty good grades in my typing class in high school, but that was a long time ago. So this is the first shot.
Nice.
And
Nice.
this was, said he was shooting towards the sun, 70 millimeter f5.6 ISO 125, 1/640th of a second with the Z8. And do you know?
Yeah, you missed my
You did-
first shot there, but Anita and I were out on Christmas Day, and rather than eat Christmas dinner and get all bloated and overweight, whatever, we decided to be out and take some shots. And of the whole bunch, this is my only one at f5.6. All the rest are at f4. And you can see the settings and all this. And and it's I had 2 cameras and 2 lenses, so and that was it. But
Well,
gives you an idea what the weather was like.
just to be fair, David, I decided to stay home and get bloated and get overweight.
Actually, we did that later. We just enjoyed the daylight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I accidentally jumped one shot ahead here because this is not his first shot. This is the second shot he sent me. So I'm going to go back to the first shot he sent me, which is of this, as David called it, a white-headed pigeon.
He has a lot to learn.
Yeah.
yeah, but the whole day we saw 2 bull-headed eagles, and I'm not too sure if it was the same eagle or not, because the other time we saw one was about 2 miles away, and this one, when it took off, it headed south in the direction where we saw the other one, and we saw 3 coyotes, and they were out chasing mice. You know, they were standing up on their hind feet and pouncing. But by the time we got the truck stopped and got a place to park and whatever, the coyotes were in the hollows, so we couldn't see them. So, yeah.
Well,
But
I see one thing in this picture I don't like and don't miss, and that's called snow.
Well, the interesting thing with this is that the snow was in a horror frost situation, you know, and that's only because there was very little wind,
Hmm.
you know. But there was enough that it puffed the feathers on the eagle's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Did you have it? Did you try to make it with 840 with a teleconverter?
I got another one that I shot at 840. This one was at 600, but it didn't last long, and I bowed down or to make an adjustment on my camera, and when I looked up, it was gone. You know, and
Yeah.
Anita didn't even make it out of the truck because he
Typical.
you know.
Now I'll jump ahead to what is your third image you sent me, since I went out of order here, which I apologize for.
Oh, that's okay.
Nah,
I like this one a lot. I like this.
like infrared.
Yeah, this is crazy. I like this.
Yeah, and who says that you can't do landscape shots with a 600?
Oh yeah.
And this was shot wide open.
Well, you got Mac Ranger there doing portrait shots with the 800.
Oh, I've done that too.
Yeah, you know. So if everything's far enough away, it works, right?
Oh yeah, he just needed radios to talk to his model.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this shows you what the horror frost was like, you know, in this shot here.
Yeah.
And for all of you beer and whiskey drinkers, this place it produces malt, and malt is a prime ingredient for making whiskey, and a lot of places add it for when they're making beer, and they ship it all over North America, or at least they used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll know there's a problem if we can't find any beer in the stores.
Well, this is the
Don't blame them.
yeah, it's the higher end beers use malt, you know, and because they get a greater percentage of the nutrients or the sugars out of the barley or oats or whatever, and they produce 140,000 tons of malt a year, and they're on CN and the CP tracks, and you know, so it's a so everybody gets to taste their finished product, but not from here.
So Greg is asking, where is these photos?
This is near Stettler, Alberta.
And then I'll bring up your last shot, Dave.
Yeah, this was a typical.
No bad.
This was a typical that day with a little bit of a haze in there, and we had this lone tree, and it just kind of needed something. I shot this one with my Z8 and my favorite lens, or the lens that gets used the most anyway, and I think everybody in the panel has one except for Randall. He probably has 3.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But yeah, this is it's a great lens. I mean, it's we all crow about it. I mean, I can't fault it in any way. I mean, I love that lens.
Yeah, and as you can see, this was shot wide open also.
This is like this is your version of the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, I guess, right? The lonely tree out there all by itself with the broken branch.
Yeah, all it needs is a raptor.
That's right. That's all it needs. But thank you very much, David. I'm glad you were able to get in here on the show.
Yeah, well, we got out on, or at least we got out on Christmas Day because I figured you needed some pictures, and and it's and like we were out driving around in the snow, and we didn't get stuck. And even though I was in 2-wheel drive most of the time, but if you're in 2-wheel drive and you get stuck, then you can always switch to 4. But if you're in 4-wheel drive and you get stuck, then you're buggered. Yeah.
But thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much for sending them in.
Yep, no problem.
Appreciate it. And now coming up, and Anita, I'll let you narrate your own images because obviously you can do that much better than I can. You were there. We'll bring up your first shot.
Oh, beautiful.
So these shots were taken, or this one in particular was taken in Ponta Delgada, which is on San Miguel Island, part of the Azores, Portugal. And again, everything I do at night, unless it's Aurora, it's handheld. And this town really goes into celebrating Christmas. So the decorations were all over, and it just made for a really nice night of taking photos. I used the Z6 II for all of these. And I believe it was the 24-120 lens that I used, which is fast becoming my go-to lens.
Yeah, and what's nice with the decorations, obviously starting with your first shot here, and people will see the subsequent ones coming up, is very, very tastefully done in terms of the decorations. Not crazy. Just really wonderfully done as we move to your next image.
How lovely.
Yes, and again, this is just one of the main squares in Ponta Delgada. And again, just out for an evening walk. And this is what I saw.
So did you have to do the
Very late at night or very early in the morning?
They're all at night.
Yeah,
Nobody
8 o'clock,
that's
8,
why.
9 o'clock in the evening.
well, you're out there all by
There's
yourself,
nobody
huh?
around.
It looks like.
For some of these, yes, I left the group behind and I went out on my own.
And we'll get your next one.
And again, all around in the square.
beautiful?
Beautiful. Very nice.
Very tastefully done, and are those poinsettia plants that are in the?
They
planter?
are, and they are everywhere. And I mean, they're real live plants. And actually, there are poinsettia trees. I did not see any around this area, but I have seen them in the past where it's a tree,
Wow.
not just a little plant.
So you gotta come in here and eat that from Kubarasi Paul, which I agree with him that sometimes picking the white balance is trouble. So comment anything about that? I should have used shot it on raw.
Yes, it's a raw.
So, but
I
did you
always shoot raw.
did you end it having to play with the white balance after that when you were working your photo?
I think I may have warmed it a wee bit, but not much.
Not much. Yeah. But I agree. White balance is one of the things that as soon as you throw difficult light, I mean, basically, then you have to be prepared to work with it.
Yes. It's, yeah. So my ISO was pretty high for the 1600.
I love the pavement.
This is wonderful. This shot, I love it.
Yeah.
And I love the the patterns in the stonework there.
Yeah.
You know.
So not a mosaic type of
Yeah.
pavement.
Very nice.
It's so rare to no person around.
Indeed.
I think she had to pay him off to get him to get out of the way.
Anita, that's the issue, correct? Traveling in winter, correct? When there are less tourists, paid off.
Yes. Yeah. That's when I've been to the Azores before, it's always been either November, December, January, February. It's for me, that's my favorite time to get away from here and get some decent weather.
Yeah, I'm sure you agree with this comment from
That's nice. It's very
Roy.
nice.
This one is in Madeira, in Funchal, Madeira, and it's just one of the parks that. And if you look at the third waterfall, there are two swans on the water.
Yep.
Pretty small, but they're there.
Now, did you hand hold this at 6 seconds, or did you put it on a tripod?
I did not have a tripod with me. I found a railing and I bounced as good as I could on the railing.
Good
Very
job.
good. Well done.
I have no room left in my suitcase for taking such a thing as a tripod.
It's a great shot, Anita.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Very nice.
And I think I got one more here from you.
Yeah, there would be one more of my last
Mm.
in this town center.
I
And-
love this one, Anita.
It's actually a circle where there's vehicles going around. And just luck that I stayed long enough that I could snap something in between cars.
But you see, Anita, typically, you get this long exposure as soon as you have a waterfall or something like that, and that's commonly done. But the fact that you did it on a fountain at night, that makes that photo, to me, that makes it special. So
Yeah.
it looks
very
lovely
nice.
because it's unusual to see that much movement in the water at night. So it's 1/20, 1/25 of a second. So it's a relatively long exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful series of shots. I mean, envy you on that trip. I mean, that had to have been like absolutely fantastic trip.
Beautiful series.
Gustavo, I find that 1/25th or 1/30th is a good time for water movement because
Yeah.
it's not all blurred out, but you can still see
Don't make it
some
too
stuff.
much.
I agree.
It's a good all around combination. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll shoot it twice, and then I'll blend them together, so you can see a little bit of so you can see movement, but it's also sharp.
And I agree with Anita. I mean, that 24-120 is such a wonderful lens, right? When I
Oh
did,
yeah, it's a great lens.
when I went to Argentina for a business trip and I have to take one camera and one lens, that's the one that I took. right? Because it's so versatile, right?
Yeah, I did have one other lens with me. I had the 14 to 30 with me, but it never made it onto the camera.
Mhm.
Yeah, when you start shooting at 14, the wider you get, the more difficult it is composition wise to get the shot that you want.
Although I do like that lens, right? I mean, I know a lot of people here have the what is it, 14 to 24, right? Terry, you love the lens, right? But the 14 to 30 f4
Yeah.
for landscape photography, where you're going to stop down anyway, and it's so compact that's a nice complement to the 24 120. So I agree, Anita. If I'm going to do landscape and I know that I'm going to have too much opportunity for animals, those two lenses are, for light travel, they are a good combination.
But thanks so much for sharing your adventure, and hopefully a couple months from now we can get you to share a little presentation on 2 or 3 of your favorite locations you've gone to, and share some more images with us, and talk about it some more, because I think everybody'd really enjoy that.
Yeah, I will do that once I get everything edited.
Yeah,
I'm still working on Madeira, so I haven't got onto the mainland yet.
No, that's fantastic, Anita. We know the quality of the picture, so we're looking forward to it.
Thank you.
and the next images are from somebody that we know called Gustava. I'll try to ruin your name worse the next
Hey,
show.
that's the female version of me, I presume.
Yeah. And here you go, sir. I'll
All right.
let you go for it.
Yeah.
So you can see, Anita, this is with the 1430. So when you have good sky, the 1430 comes to the rescue. So
That's a beautiful shot.
yeah, so
Colorado River.
that's exactly the Colorado River. So this is for my quick trip with my son to Moab, and it was during the winter. No queuing to get into the park. Special permits. Everything was fantastic. This is from uh, Canyonlands. Actually, this is for the Colorado River, but this is my favorite view of the Colorado River, and it's from a state park called Dead Horse Point State Park. Right. So typically, I used to do a geological excursion that I used to take people to this area, and and when they're looking at the Colorado River for the first time, and the canyon and the Canyonlands Park, this is the place that we will take it in the morning, and you can see why. So in here you can see that. Um,
A beautiful
yeah,
sky.
that's correct. Sky make this type of picture, correct? So if you are blessed,
Oh, yeah.
if you are blessed with good sky, then I mean it's always spectacular, correct? But for photography, the sky make the picture. And so this was very early in the morning, just before sunrise. And remember, the last time I presented some photos from Moab, I showed you that this road that you can see here, one of my favorite, that go from the town of Moab to the backside of the canyon line. It's called the White Rim Trail, right? And I show another perspective. But for you that are interested here, um, this I probably cannot see the cursor, but almost in the middle, where you see the road, that's actually that famous place where they filmed that final scene from Thelma and Louise, where they jump the cliff, correct? In the final act of the fire. So that's where it was filmed. Right? And
You're on a roadway, and I'm not familiar with never been there, obviously. So you're on a roadway, and they have areas that are convenient for you to like pull over to the side. You got room to pull over to the
no.
side.
This place is like a viewing area. It's at the Enos Beach Butte, the
Okay.
state park. Yeah, I mean, you are looking for, because you are at the cliff, correct? So this is a barrier. So you are photographing there by the barrier.
Okay. Okay.
And this is the basically the overview of this part of the Colorado Canyon system, looking from this state park into the Canyonlands National Park. Right? But that road there gets into the park through the backside. It's a four-wheel drive. This time we didn't do it because I didn't take my Jeep, but it's one of my favorite roads. That day would have been fantastic with the weather. But as I said, I mean, we have great weather and no crowd, so it was fantastic. So, and the other side of the canyon, you can barely see on YouTube, but is that Schaefer Trail that take you from this level here of the canyon all the way to the island in the sky, which is the top level in the background. Right, so that's the road that I showed you the other day with all these switchbacks here. But anyway, so this is one that I probably ended. I already make another version of this in 16 by 9 to use it as a screensaver, but I probably will be ending printing this photo.
Now, do you use a polarizer on your lens at all, or no?
Not this time, not for this photo.
Okay.
When the weather is good, like this, you don't need to do much.
Yeah, you had a little bit of gray in the clouds, which helps too.
Is that?
When we
But you
print-
have to be there, you know. You have to make the sacrifice, leaving the hotel before sunrise, and try to make the long trip uh, to here. So to be just after sunrise.
Go to your next one here.
So many of you that have been arches, so this actually it's the Delicate Arch, which is the most famous arch in Arches National Park, right? So uh, um, this time we didn't go there. Actually, now that I know that there's so few people in the winter, I'm going to try to make it with my wife and do it's a somewhat arduous hike to get the close up. But this is from actually a viewing area, and as uh, I took the photo because it's from far away, so I took this photo from using the 600 millimeter, right? Uh, and so you can see, David, like we were talking about, you can do landscape photography with a 600 millimeter, right? And it compresses everything. And, and Terry, one of the things that I want to do the next time, correct? I didn't have time is to try to see if I can combine this view, which I know actually where to get it, and actually move it a little bit further in one direction and trying to get a nice sky, right?
Yep. Easy.
Behind this, okay? Nice starts, and that's so you can see here. This is typically very crowded, correct, with a lot of people. But just there were a couple of people in the that I had done the hike, and you can see them there by the rocks. Okay?
Yeah, far right hand corner there where
Yeah.
two rocks merge. They're
I
like
didn't
sitting
believe
right
them
in there.
because I saw a couple of people like I told you, but typically you see a lot of people in here. Actually, this was the second day. The first day I went, there were a lot. Was in the morning, but I like the I took some photos. I did a little bit of a hike from the lower viewing area to the higher viewing area. But then I said I'm going to come back first thing in the morning by myself, just after sunrise, and photograph it again with the 600, and turned out to be the right decision.
Well,
Can you go closer
Yeah,
to
yeah,
this
that's what I'm
art?
saying. If you go in the summer, people queue to get
Yeah.
into the arch and then take a photo, a selfie of themselves inside the arch. But it's
Yeah.
a interesting. It's an
Typical stuff.
interesting hike. It's not that long, but you have to climb. I think it's about uh, 500 meter, and it's extremely hot, correct, in the summer. So when there's no
Yeah.
ice and in the winter is the right time to go. So I'm going to try to make it soon. When my son was little, we couldn't make it because it's dangerous, correct? You have to basically there is no rails or anything, so you go through the what they call a stick rock, correct? And in between this and where the people are sitting, there is like a humongous hole, and in front of this there is like a 500 feet drop. Correct. So it's not your kids are not well behaved. This is not the place to go.
Yeah.
But it's an iconic place. So every time, I mean, you can see there are places that it doesn't matter how many times you go, you photograph them, correct, and you hope for good weather.
Looks like this time of the year
Oh,
is perfect.
I mean, I told you, Terry, we went last summer, and we didn't enjoy it as much as this time.
Yeah.
And of course, the other icon there is the next photo, which is Balancing Rock. So I cannot avoid it.
Oh,
Every time I go there and photograph it, this here at sunset, you get, this is a relatively quite high elevation. So these basically benefit from the last rays of sun before this sunset, correct? And then you
mm,
sometimes get some red glowing on the snow of the mountains in the background, which called the La Salle Mountain.
yeah.
And then you get a tremendous amount of color on Balancing Rock, right? So I did. So I go there, and I had taken hundreds of the pictures, but I go and I always stop. You never know what kind of sky you're going to get and what kind of glow you're going to get. And
Yeah, maybe it is the time to fall. You can catch it. You
exactly,
have to try it.
exactly. And of course, here you can see I was trying to see if I could get some leading lines with the rocks in the foreground. Again, this was taken.
Nice.
This was
Very
taken with a
nice.
24 to 120, Anita.
Let me get to your next one here.
And actually,
Hello.
this was another time that I stopped there in Balancing Rock, correct? And my wife had gone with my son to do the little trail around the rock, and I stayed in the car park. And these guys show up, the Ravens always looking for an opportunity to eat something. And actually, this is probably one of my favorite from this trip, right? Because I mean, taken again with the 600 millimeter, uh, and you can see this is one of those pictures from wildlife that
Maybe it's a
it tells a
tourist
story, correct? It
enjoying the
tells a
view
story.
too.
Is the Ravens in arches, correct? Because you can see when with the red colors and all these rock formation in the background.
Yeah, I like this one a lot too.
Yeah,
Blending nature with landscape here.
but Raven. This is a Raven for sure.
Yep.
So
And
that
the light conditions were good enough that you can see. I mean, obviously we don't see it here. That it preserve all the uh, details on the feather, as that we always discuss here. Photographing completely white birds or completely black birds, uh,
Mm,
extremely difficult. And here I was
yeah.
blessed with a kind of uh, filter, not completely clouded but overcast day that
Yeah.
allows for a good
Filter
shot.
light.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, Gustavo, I like the shallow depth of field because he
Yeah.
shot this
Yeah.
wide open and it looks great.
yeah,
yeah, wonderful set of shots, Gustavo.
thank you guys.
Nice way to end the year for you.
Indeed.
But
Right, and start the new year.
yeah. The next shots we got coming up here are we got a group of shots from Martin Hild, followed by some shots from Jeff Sluter, and then we have Mr. Bixby's images that he sent in. So we will let me get my text here for the narration here for Martin's shots. So we will we'll bring up his first image. And Martin says after visiting his in-laws up north for Christmas, they went to the city of Paderborn, which is like an hour from their place. They had heard it's the best place in Germany to photograph kingfishers. And boy, did that town deliver. While we could share a good dozen pictures of kingfishers, we want to keep it diverse and interesting. Paderborn is a very old city with lots of history. In the city center, there are multiple springs, some of which are warm, which is the reason for the abundance of birds right in the city, especially in the wintertime. Wikipedia states that the river Patter originates from over 200 springs near the Paderborn Cathedral. The name Paderborn derives from Pater, name of the river, and Born, Old German for the source of a river. You could say the town is pretty water themed. So this first picture shows a water hen on the footpath right by one of the wells of the River Patter. It is the clear early morning light with some warm mist from the water in the background. These are very common birds, but he says, I love them a lot. And this one was so easy with the pedestrians and photographers. This was with the Z9 with the 800 PF, ISO 160, 1/640th of a second, and wide open at f6.3. So that's shot number one. Now shot number two.
Oh, lovely.
Shows the European dipper. He says, I never even dreamt of ever getting this close to a dipper. They're usually very shy birds, not so much in the city. Mind you, the photo is cropped. Still amazing to get this close. He says, we were closer than 30 feet. Z9, once again, with the 800 PF, ISO 4000 this time, 1/100th of a second, f6.3. He says, pretty dark, I know, but yeah, but it's amazing, you know, what you could do with the camera and what you could do in post. So not an issue. Looks fantastic. So now image number three, the infamous kingfisher. And I love the color of the kingfishers in Europe. They are gorgeous. He says at least 4 individuals could be seen in the city center, and it was never that easy to watch them. They are extremely calm, and you know, he says it was. Let me reword it. It was never that easy to watch them. They were extremely calm and not skittish at all. The background is somewhat busy, but he says he liked that. As you can imagine, the backgrounds of the photos are either houses or busy. They were not taken from a hide after all. This is a pretty big crop too, about DX size. Z9 with the 800 PF once again. But beautiful colors on the European version of the kingfishers.
I love the contrast in the feathers, especially the soft ones on the left side. That's just beautiful.
Hi, Joey.
Is that Joey that I hear?
Yes.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Hey, you gonna be able to entertain us on in February?
100,000%. I'm working on some stuff. I'll be ready to roll.
Okay.
Okay, good.
100%.
Well, you rock. We'll roll.
Perfect. I'm enjoying the show, guys. Great photos.
The next image from Martin is let's see here. This is his last picture. He says this shows the Paderborn Cathedral. He says the first churches on that hill were built in the 700s. The cathedral in its current form, however, was built in the 13th century after it was being destroyed twice in the centuries before. He says, I took the photo late at night during freezing rain. The streets were criminally slippery. He says, I'm pretty glad I didn't fall on some of the cobblestone there. He says, anyways, he liked the blue illumination and the Christmas tree. Picture is actually a panorama of 6 photos taken with the Z9, the 24-70 f4S at 24 millimeter, ISO 7200, 1/60th of a second at f4.5. Nice job.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm assuming one would assume this was probably a vertical panorama, I would think. I don't know. I would think it is. So that's it from Martin, and we have pictures that his wife took that we'll show in a little bit. So Martin, thank you so much for sending these in. I know it takes a long time for your files to get here from Germany. That's all I got to say.
And he managed to choose one of my two favorite European birds. I mean, the European Deeper, which is so beautiful, and of course, the Kingfisher. It's fantastic. Thank you, Martin.
Yeah, thank you so much. And now we got some images from Jeff Sluter. These are all from the first weekend in December. He says his wife's family is scattered across the country and they celebrate Thanksmas, which is a combination of Thanksgiving and Christmas sometime between the two holidays. And this year they spent time together at the Shaker village of Pleasant Hill outside of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And he says the Shakers were a religious community. This particular group was primarily from the mid-1800s to the very early 20th century. Many of their buildings have been preserved and rehabbed to their original look. The stone walls are original to the area and can be found throughout Kentucky. These are dry walls, meaning no mortar, just stones carefully stacked on top of stones. Some were built by slaves, but most built by the farmers who tilled the rocky central Kentucky soil. And this is, with the Canon R7 with the 24 to 105 f4, and this is for all these shots using that combination, various exposure settings. He says it was dark and cloudy, so most are fairly high ISO and lower shutter speed, all handheld. So we will go through the rest of his.
But that photo, Jeff, both Jeff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it works so well in black and white, right? Because of all the different textures in the wall, in the trees, in the grass. I mean, I think, sometimes a black and white rendition of the photo is okay, but this was really like it. The fact that the stone wall is not horizontal, but
Right, goes up on an angle makes a big difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, wonderful job. Wonderful job, and the detail in the rocks too. I mean, and it's like the rocks almost look like some of them are. Looks like some of them are standing up and down.
When I see this type of,
and then some are laying flat, so it's really
this type of stone walls.
Yeah,
they tap it with those vertical slates, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's common that they in that part of the country that they do this.
Yeah, I
type
mean,
of stone wall.
In New England, we'll have a lot of stone walls that are dry walls, like he's talking about, with no mortar.
Exactly.
But typically, well, one, they're not always flat stones. Sometimes a lot of the stone walls are like round stones. But when they do have flat stones, they're all horizontal. There are not any that are vertical or on an angle.
You see, you are staying in this house. So
looks like there's lights on in there.
So that makes it better because he can take his time to take the photo.
Yeah. So this is his next image. He's got a couple deer in here.
Yes. Early fog.
Day fog.
And he really got engrossed with the walls, which I don't blame him at all. As he followed this one, well composed, and then picks up a wall farther down on the left as it goes around the corner.
Lovely. And you can see here the construction, Jeff.
Yeah. And then another one
that fell down.
Yeah, well, looks that's where the elephant crossed earlier in the morning in Kentucky. The Kentucky elephants went through.
Lovely, very good.
Nice.
Very nice, Jeff. Good job. I mean, I know Jeff hasn't been feeling well lately, and he hasn't been getting out as much as he wants. So appreciate the effort very much. So
But when he get out, he gets good photos. So
yeah. Now, Roy, you're up next, my friend. So you have to do some talking. Hate to tell you.
I'm not good at that.
Yeah, well, you're good at it. You just don't like to.
True.
Well, you're good at it. So we're gonna pop up your first one here.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with that one.
This was with the macro, right? The 105.
Probably 2470. They're quite large flowers. They're probably 6 inches across each one.
105, is it?
Could be.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't take much notice of what I'm using. As long as it does the job.
Yeah, interesting plant, whatever it is.
That's like what I said to Randall before. This is bigger. The ones he mentioned before was much smaller than that.
Yeah.
Bottle brush.
Bottle
I
brush,
think.
yes.
Okay.
One of the few plants I know.
Well, and then you got this nice shot with the
Ooh,
beautiful with the
nice.
bee in there.
A bee shot.
A bee shot. Yeah.
Too busy, this one. I don't like it.
no, that's okay.
Very nice. Natural, Mike.
Well, you picked up a lot of not only the color from the flower itself, but the colors like below it, from a different plant more than likely. But you get that purple in there, which is nice too.
I love the contrast. It's beautiful.
Respectfully disagree with Roy.
Yes. Now he sends me this when I get to this picture, and him and I talked about it a little bit before the show started. I'm like, he didn't need to send me this one, but he couldn't help himself.
While I was taking flowers, my left hand was tickling. So I looked at it, and this was on it. So what do you do when you do that? You grab your camera.
Yeah, he says the first thing you do is grab your camera. I says, no, the first thing you do is scream like a little girl and shake your hand.
Actually, that one's fairly
Oh.
small for a huntsman.
Yeah.
Probably a
Now
third the size of the thumb.
that won't harm you at all, that one?
No,
Roy's
they
like,
don't bite.
Nah.
They fairly aren't. Oh, they
Well,
do
you're
bite.
like,
They're not
that's not a
dangerous.
spider. This is a spider.
You should see the females.
He said, this is a medium-sized
glass.
one. He goes, oh, this is medium-sized. I go, I don't want to see
That's the
this.
Aussie way.
Mm.
But
That's
then this is your next one.
Oh, beautiful.
This
That's
must be
nice.
from the film days, huh, Roy?
Yes. I nearly didn't send it in because it's portrait instead of landscape.
It's like a painting, man.
Yeah. Well, it does have a painterly look to it.
Yeah.
And then, bada bing.
Oh, wow.
And this one, this is the last one that Roy sent in.
It did have a bee on it, but I wasn't quick enough.
Is that the macro lens?
Yeah,
Probably is.
105. Yeah.
Yeah, 105.
So nice series, Roy.
Very
Except
nice.
for the spider. Except for the spider.
especially the spider.
Oh, he was cute.
By that, you're going to be like mega super Spider-Man. You're going to have all the tingly senses. You'll be the best photographer ever.
Roy thinks everything in Australia that can kill you is cute.
Yeah, it's just a family pet.
Yeah, it's just a pet. Don't worry about it. They don't eat much. 1 or 2 tourists a year. Not a big deal.
Oh, the huntsmans, they can actually hiss at you, some of the bigger ones.
They hiss at you. Roy,
Yeah, spiders.
where do you
Yes.
The next images we got are from Verena, Martin's wife. So we got some pictures from her. And then after Verena is Robert / Bob Rosato from Connecticut. So we will move to Verena's first shot in her narrative here. This was with the D850 with the 500 PF, and she says in October, Martin showed you a picture of a great heron, and she says I also took a picture of the same one, but this one is completely different from what the perspective from what he took. And she says I like to take pictures with a different kind of perspective, and I like pictures that have water in them. So this was her perspective of a shot that Martin had sent in on a previous show. And then she moved on with
lovely.
She says this is also the D850 with the 500 PF. She says, as Martin wrote, we visited the city of Paderborn in Germany. It's a well-known place to take pictures of the European kingfisher and the European dipper in the winter. So she says, for long times, the rivers in Germany have been straightened and have been put into channels. At the end of the 19th century, the water of the Pater had been used to transport sewage away from the city. And as you can think, it was not a very nice place for humankind and nature. But for several years, people in Germany are building the rivers back to a more clean and natural way with big success, as you can see in the pictures. The European dipper is a sign for clear water. We saw two dippers at the same time. They searched for food in the fast running waters. And the next shot is of another one dipping its head in, trying to get some food.
Action.
Love the freeze frame of the water. It looks like it's ice.
Yeah. She says, as she said before, likes pictures of water. And she says, I wonder if this is some kind of running sushi for the European dipper.
So interesting bird fact is that the dippers, correct, which are several species, is the only basically passerine, which is songbirds, that actually is truly aquatic, right? Because you have gulls and all that, but those are birds. They are not passerine. So the songbirds, what we call songbirds. So this is the only songbird that is actually truly aquatic. Okay? So you can see they go on the water to hunt for larvae of insects that is typically in clean waters like Martin and Martin's wife was saying, and so this is hunting behavior.
Now, her last image that she sent in, she says the Pater's full with young trout and young graylings, so much food for a European kingfisher. And she says this one is waiting patiently for his food while the warm water produced some mist in the otherwise cold weather. So you get that eerily soft look with that mist in the air. And she says he was successful. We've been able to see the kingfisher catching and eating some fish. So she says perhaps we will visit this place next year again. We will see. Happy New Year and greetings to all. The same to you, my friend. Hope you and Martin had a fantastic New Year and a Merry Christmas. And thank you for sending in images once again.
That photo has such a great mood, right? I mean, the fact that there was a little bit backlight and the colors are a little bit, impacted by the backlight, it makes for an interesting mood. So I love the photo. Love the photo. Definitely, you guys need to go back there.
Yeah, would kingfishers abound? Definitely. Definitely.
And cooperating kingfisher, which is challenging itself. And actually, Kuarasi was saying something that we need to put him on a challenge. He's a very technical photographer that he would like to photograph these the dippers underwater, right?
The dipper's underwater. Yeah.
That would be. I mean, he's an underwater photographer, but but I don't think it's a little bit shallow for him.
Yeah. Yeah. The water isn't deep enough for you to dive, I don't think.
They have the small cameras special for things like that. That's how they make it.
And I know that people with kingfishers and sometimes with dippers, certainly with kingfishers, they put small aquariums, sometimes with fish, right? So that they photograph the aquarium or they put a camera in the aquarium, right? And I don't know with but dippers, which are hunters of this larvae, I think it would be you really have to put your camera in the rocks where they are going and maybe remote operate it.
Yeah. You'd have to get like a little hero camera or something that's in an underwater, you know. I don't know if they're naturally those cameras are watertight to a certain degree or not, but I'm sure they. I'm
And
sure
here's
they.
coming for you, Jeff. And here's coming for you. Great to see Verena as a regular image provider on this show. The ladies put the bar very high.
Well, we're happy. We are blessed to have so many great photographers that join us on the show. Very humbling indeed. I mean, it's if you can't get motivated to take pictures when you come and watch a image review, I don't know. I don't know what we could do to motivate you. The next ones are from Bob Rosado, Robert, and he says the first bunch is from last Friday night. He was in Hartford, Connecticut, which I lived multiple towns in Connecticut. But from where I was born, I was roughly about a 30-40 minute drive to Hartford from where I was born and raised. And so he was there in the middle of a snowstorm, and he got this picture of. He said he was walking around. He was at the Marriott, and so these are all around an area called Constitution Plaza. And my wife worked for Travelers Insurance Company, which is based out of Hartford, Connecticut. And Travelers is actually on the other side of the street from this building, which is this building is the Phoenix Life Insurance Building. And if you see and you look at the red in the middle of the building, that red is the Travelers umbrella, a reflection of the Travelers umbrella onto that building. So it says the picture's a little distorted, but the general shape is there. It's known as the Boat Building, and this was with the Nikon ZF with the Voigtlander 35 millimeter f2 Apo Lanther lens, 1/30th of a second at f3.2 ISO 3200. So he went out in the snow and got some pictures basically right where my wife worked for. I mean, prior to moving, she still worked from home down here when we moved to Myrtle Beach up until this past April or May, and she put in like 43, 44 years working there for Travelers Insurance Company. So anyway, the next image, he took this picture to get the image of that mural that's painted there. He doesn't. It leads to what they call the Old State House, which would be to the left out of the frame of this image. Doesn't know much about the mural itself, but he thought it looked pretty cool and wanted to capture it. You can see that it is snowing. You can see the snow underneath the lights, and this was also with the still with the Voigtlander 35 millimeter f2 Apo Lanther lens.
Nice movie on this one.
Yeah, and then this is a picture. This one here, he was just trying to get the snow the snowflakes that were illuminated by that lamp next to the Connecticut Science Center. And the light, he says the light's a bit blown out, but not much he could do about it. This was also with the Nikon ZF. And this was with the Voigtlander 75 millimeter f1.5 Nocton lens, 1/500th of a second, f3.2 ISO 2500. And then he took the next shot as another image of the Connecticut, an overall view of the Connecticut Science Center.
Mm,
Yeah,
nice.
interesting building.
This is with this Voigtlander 75 millimeter lens once again that took the previous shot.
Very good.
And that's an interesting building. I don't know how many years old that is, but I took my kids there. It had a lot of neat interactive displays for kids to learn about science and whatnot. And it really is a very, very nice place to, if you're ever in Connecticut, if you have, even, slightly older children, but, if you have anywhere from, I'd say 6 years old and up, we'll find something in there that they can enjoy doing. It's a real cool place.
Interesting mathematical comment from Robert here, from Bob, that the roof simulate a sine wave.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting structure when they were building that. And then he captured speaking of the sine wave, he captured the curves
Very nice.
of the at ground level here.
Yes,
He called this picture, he called it waves. So this was a sitting area in Constitution Plaza, which is just a wide open area, like people that work at Travelers Insurance and some of the other insurance companies. They'll go out for lunch and they'll get food from street vendors and stuff selling hot dogs or whatever, or some of the local restaurants, and a lot of them will just sit on the steps, on Constitution Plaza and sit there and have their lunch.
this is my favorite, particularly with the fresh snow on top of that, emphasizing those curves.
Yep, not one footprint. Nice clean snow.
Exactly.
And then his next shot here is a statuette representing when Abraham Lincoln met Harriet Beecher Stowe, and she was the author of Uncle Tom's Cabin and an abolitionist from Hartford. There's a lot of history in Connecticut. This is also shot with the Nikon ZF with that 75 millimeter Voigtlander 1.5 Nocton lens, and I like the balls of light in the background from the street lights. It's cool. Nice shot.
And that proves that we photographers are crazy and go out when nobody's out in the street at night, bad weather, etc., etc.
Plus, you got the American flag, in the background as well. Multiple American flags. Then he sent me some extra pictures from Bronson Hill and Sugar Hill, New Hampshire. His friends, they go hiking in that area, and they try to, as he says, they try to work off some calories before they have a big dinner for the night. And his friend Pam was cooking an 18-pound roast, so I think they had to do a lot of walking at the time. There were 15 people, but they still only managed to eat half of it with 15 people. So this next picture is of a small log cabin that sits along the trail of Bronson Hill, and it was likely somebody's hunting lodge a long time ago, as he states, before it became part of the Bronson Hill Conservation Area. And he did take a shot of this, if you remember, a while back with a Milky Way image.
Yes.
and he painted the cabin. He did light painting on the cabin in that image, and he shared that with us a while back. And this was shot with the Z9 with the 24-120 lens at 28 millimeter, 1/500th of a second, 5.6 ISO 90.
And just so you guys know, kind of a preview on the thing coming. Robert or Bob Rosado is working on a future presentation about light painting as part of the photography series.
And there is a nice little snowman on the far right if you look. It looks like, I don't know if it has a, yeah, there it is. For a second there, I thought it was a shadow. I thought it had a ski pole in its hand or something. This next shot, has the same cabin from a different perspective.
Nice.
This is from up the hill, looking outwards towards Mount Cannon and other peaks in the White Mountains. Also the Z9 with the 24-120 at 88 millimeters. No matter how many pictures you guys send me send me that have snow in it, I don't miss it that much. Sorry.
I'll miss it.
Then here, one of Bob's friends brought his cross-country skis, and he was waiting for him to come closer to the tree. He wanted to frame him with that lower arched branch that's on the right-hand side of the tree. But shortly after he took the shot, he decided to do a 90-degree turn to his left and headed away from the tree and messed up his plans with the shot. He says, "Oh well, we all know the best laid plans sometimes just don't materialize." And but this is a nice shot of someone having fun skiing. Something I could never. I was never good with putting anything on my feet other than fins for scuba diving. I was very comfortable underwater, but I was never ever comfortable with anything else on my feet, like ice skates. I broke my wrist ice skating. Never tried skiing for the same reason. I didn't want to end up into the forest and kill myself, and couldn't do rollerblading or any of that stuff either. I was a disaster when I had anything other than a pair of sneakers on. I was in trouble. But so that's it from Bob. Bob, thank you so much. I know you've had a bit going on this year and last year and the last year recovering from some surgeries and stuff. And thank you so much for taking the time to send these in, and wish you and your family well. And hopefully, I believe sometime this year, Bob will retire from where I worked previously, and he'll have more time to take more pictures that way. So that'll work out good. So the last images are from myself here. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I'm going to skip ahead here because while Randall is still awake, hopefully, I'm going to skip to Randall's images so Randall can talk to them, and then we'll do mine last as is the norm. And so, Randall, I'm going to bring up your first shot here. And this was, let's see, you were commenting that I think this shot and the next shot you took with the Nikon D610 and the Z6 using the Sigma 50 to 100 millimeter f1.8.
Yes, and it's a crop sensor lens.
Crop sensor lens.
Yeah, but it's excellent. And there's your little vignette in right there for you, Roy. But I thought this was beautiful. It was right at sunset. You can see the full moon. Well, to the right in the trees, but the guy with his Christmas lights and stuff were always on the front, but he never put on his porch lights until this evening. And I thought it was just gorgeous. It was just perfect. And of course, I wasn't high enough to see, but it gave a kind of like an atmosphere that was just glowing. And I thought it was beautiful. And from the 610, which I use, and I use the DF a lot also. Um, I decided to use this lens, and it's excellent. Yes, it is a crop sensor lens, but I put it on the Z6 III also, and I did not put it on the ZR because I worry about the weight and stuff. But the Z6 III, and with the adapter, I was using the regular. I don't think I was using Monster adapter. I was using the F to Z adapter with the Z6 III. But this is with the 610. So no adapter at all.
Yeah.
So
Sorry to interrupt here, Randall, but I think I need to do something here because we have Father Christmas here. I screwed up here, Jeff. Help me out.
he's drinking his coffee too.
Exactly.
There we go.
Perfect.
What's in that mug? I'm sure it's not water.
You know, it's better than a cup of coffee. 2 cups of coffee.
That's right.
You should have Nikon coffee cups. What's going on here?
I'm not that much of a fanboy, am I?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. You got the museum in your house, you know.
Sand dune.
Yeah, that's the proper way, Mike.
Back to the photos. Go on.
So Santa doesn't get. I'm glad to see that Santa doesn't get lost in Australia.
Oh, no.
He does find his way there.
He wears board shorts and goes surfing. How come I'm still on?
Oh well, we're looking to take care of you.
The controller has some problem.
Due to technical difficulties caused by reindeer.
Sorry, Jeff.
Did you bounce me back again?
Yeah.
We're both clicking at the same time. See what happens?
There we go.
I cannot do that.
All righty. So now we got Randall's next shot here. Give me a second to move stuff around. All right, Randall.
So the same lens, but I think I put the exposure down a -2 on this so you can see the Merry Christmas and the color of the lights. So you might see a little noise, but it's a pretty good lens. I enjoyed using it. It is heavy, but there's some great f-mount lenses, and I still use them all the time.
Oh, the main thing is you get out there and you use it.
Yeah.
And in these last 2 that you sent me, you were using the same Sigma lens, I believe.
Yes. No. This is the I think. Yeah, this is the 50mm f1.8. Okay, so it is a Z lens, and
Okay.
I went to my buddy's place where he's in the forest on the North 1604 loop, and he calls it Santa's South Pole, and it's cheaper than the City of Lights by the Retama Park horse track. but they have just about the same lights. But I like his atmosphere a lot better because instead of driving through a parking lot, you're driving through trees and you're going up and you're going down. It's pretty neat, and I think he has more lightings than what you pay more in the public. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've done a car vlog, and then I've had this on a slideshow also on my channel. But yeah, it's a great camera, the Z6 III, no problem. And this is through the windshield, front windshield. So I'm glad I cleaned it first.
I was gonna say you obviously had no bug gut. You had no bug guts
Yeah.
on it.
Well, at that time it got cold finally. It's been in the 80s. It got cold for 2 days, and now it's back in the 80s again today.
So
So
now all the bugs are back again.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if it rains, then we'll get the mosquitoes. So
And then this is the last image that you sent in here.
and this is supposed to be an ice rink, and it's excellent. I only got a few shots or that I sent you.
Nice
I had a total
exposure.
of 12, but I just gave you 4. And I'll
Really
leave the
nice
other 8
exposure.
for next month. Yeah.
I like the one on the corner trying to put the ice skate on.
Yeah.
That would be me. I'd sit there and I'd try putting it on and I'd say, the heck with this and take it off again. So thanks for getting those in, Randall.
Yeah. I thought I sent them, and then I realized I didn't send them. So anyway.
So I got a handful of shots that I went through, albeit later than I normally like to. So this first shot is of some female northern shovelers, and they were in the. You can see the nice mucky background because of the lowering of the water levels in the pond. So all the muck shows up now. But they do that, make it easier for the ducks to get the food that they like to eat. But I do have shots of the male. I didn't include it in what I'm showing tonight. The male has beautiful coloration. The female are pretty, but they're pretty much the same tone in terms of color wise. They're not like extraordinary, but they are cute, and they typically like to be right up against an embankment, and that's where they get their food from. They poke around the rocks. They poke around what little sticks and stuff are sticking up. They like to get insects and stuff. So, but anyway, that was within all these shots. I think were taken within the last 2 weeks anyway. So they're relatively recent. This next shot was of Eastern Bluebird. And all these shots were taken with the Z9 with the 800 PF lens. And I think, unless I state otherwise, they were shot wide open at f6.3. The shoveler shot was, just so for the record, that was taken at ISO 25,600.
Wow.
I mean, that was really, really early in the morning. The sun really had not hit that area that they were swimming in yet. So that ISO was really screaming high. Whereas this one was at the north end of the park where the parking lot is. And then, you park in there, and then you got woods all around you. And this little fellow was there. And this was an ISO, big difference, ISO 400 at this point in time.
Tripod, monopod?
Pardon?
Tripod or monopod or nothing?
No, handheld. Everything's handheld. The next one here is of a red-bellied woodpecker. This was I shot this at f10, 1/640th of a second, f10, ISO 3200. Beautiful bird.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
And then the next one was I knew I wasn't likely that I was going to get both these birds in focus, so I didn't really try, to be honest with you. I just focused on one of them, and you got the robin with the bluebird. Instead, I focused on the robin, and so the bluebird's a little soft in the foreground, and actually most of that branch is soft. Only that little appendage sticking out where the robin is sharp. Everything else is soft. But that was intentional. I wasn't going to be able to get both of them sharp with a long lens, not where I was anyway. And some people will say, well, when you're using you're using the 800 a lot, and the thing is, I have the 600 and I have the 180 to 600, and I do shoot with them on occasion, but the reality is even though you're in a area where there's a lot of people around, the larger birds are kind of like, they don't get spooked by people, and they're in the pond or in the marsh, and you got a road running right through it, so they got car noise and truck noise and people that are camping there, and they're driving their gigantic buses over it, and all these noisy RVs going across, and so they're used to noise and they're used to people. But then when you're looking for the smaller birds, you're in the quieter parts of the park, and they are still jittery. I mean, so you can't really get on top of them. You have to shoot from a pretty good distance away, and you still end up cropping.
You cannot have this photograph without this kind of lens. Otherwise, you don't have this photograph. Simple as that.
Yeah.
They're too far.
Yeah. Now the next shot I took, this wasn't taken at night. This was taken very, very early in the morning, and there was just a little bit of sun hitting these snowy egrets, and I like the effect of basically just worrying about the birds and let the background just turn dark. I didn't care. I thought it was I must have taken a series of like 30 shots, because I was trying so hard to get it where it looked like they were looking at each other, and because they were doing a lot of preening. So I'd have one that had the head, in the position that I wanted it, and the other one that would have its head twisted around, preening on its other side. And believe me, I mean, it took me. I just hung with it, and I says, I'm just gonna stay here until I get the shot I want, and I don't care how many I got to take. I'm gonna get one that I like, and I probably took 30, 40 shots to get this shot.
Very nice choice of light, man. The exposure is excellent.
This next shot is of a Forster's tern. I love taking pictures of terns, as much of a pain they are because they're so quick. But I love taking pictures of terns.
Yes.
And this is one where the light is finally hitting that side, and it had already, 99% of the time. It's so hard because it's not one of the larger ones. It's so hard to get it with a fish in its mouth, because most of the time they swallow the fish before their head even comes out of the water. But here, it had already swallowed the fish, and it went and did the shake, like an osprey will do a shake after it hits the water and gets a fish. And even the little birds do a little bit of a shake once in a while. They get the water off of them. And I just like this positioning and pose, and I was happy with it, and I was happy that there was the orange, color, from the reflection of the trees and the sun, finally hitting that side of the pond. So I was pretty happy with it.
Beautiful.
The next shot, I will not say proudly. I'll admit defeat. I got this next shot. It was the only shot that I got that was halfway decent. And before I show it to you, I'll just start the story with, had an osprey that had a fish, and its butt was facing me, and it seemed to be flying towards the tree line. So I made the assumption it was going to fly into the trees, and I stopped looking at it, which was my mistake. And I started focusing on like these turns. So I got some great turn shots, but what I didn't know was this osprey abruptly took a right-hand turn, went over the road, went over the causeway, and went onto the marsh side, where it was greeted by an eagle who was very anxious to steal the fish from the osprey. So I only got a shot of the two of them going at it, and you can see the fish right here.
One is better than none.
One is better than none. So I got this shot with the eagle harassing the osprey, and eventually it did harass it enough where the osprey let go of the fish, and the eagle caught it before it hit the ground and took off with it. So it's something that happens every day, but you're usually not there to see it. And so I'm glad I got a shot, but I switched to video mode, and it's kind of like a lesson learned. I guess I could talk about this like in the sense of that trials and tribulations segment that I used to do once in a while. So the trial and tribulation was, yes, I switched it to video mode and I tried to capture these birds fighting each other. But unfortunately, I had it in DX mode, so I had a 2.3 times crop with an 800 millimeter lens. I can tell you, you are not going to track an eagle and an osprey fighting it out and flying around with the field of view that you have when you're at a 2.3 times crop with an 800 millimeter lens. So needless to say, the video was total garbage. And because the action was just happening so fast, I mean, I basically gave up knowing the video was junk, which it was, and I threw it away. But I saw the rest with my eyes, But it was really, really cool to see these two, apex predators basically in the bird world going at each other. And this is really, and it makes no sense to me other than like the eagle saying, "This is my territory. You're not going to take a fish out of my territory," because that eagle will work 10 times harder to steal that fish. When if it went to get a fish for itself, it would get a fish out of the water so easy it would be ridiculous. It would look way too easy to get a fish on its own, but it would still will go after an osprey with a fish just to kind of send a message that you're one step down from me, and this is my neck of the woods, and you're not going to get away with eating that fish. So I think it's strictly a territorial thing, and trying to say who's in charge, who's the boss, and it's not the osprey. So a few more here, 3 more shots. The next shot is I just like this reflection shot of a juvenile ibis.
Mm-hmm.
And this was fairly early in the morning as well. This was on the opposite side of the pond. It didn't have a lot of light hitting it yet, but enough anyway. Because this was it definitely wasn't a lot of light in here, because I had to take this I took it at 1/125th of a second at wide open at f6.3, and I was at ISO 14,400.
That's typically the best light too.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I like it when it's a little. I mean, I tend to, if anything, underexpose or even when I go in post, I'll knock the exposure down or whatever, because I like it. I don't like my colors washed out. I like to have but I don't want it so dark that I lose the detail in the feathers either. It's a balancing act. This next one was a black and white conversion
Yay.
of a
Beautiful.
snowy egret who was kind of being nasty, and he kept going, charging other snowies and other birds, and going in flight and chasing after them and squawking at them and making all sorts of noise. They're basically the backyard bullies in the bird world. I mean, they're never happy. They're always PO'd at somebody. And I just like the stance with the legs spread apart, with that little bit of an attitude. And my last shot here is of a male merganser, and I did not have my camera set for 20 frames a second. I don't remember what it was set for. I mean, lots of times I'll have it like at 14 or something like that. And but I saw this male merganser, and I said, I think I might be able to get an interesting shot of this sucker. And I think I laid on the shutter for a while, and I was able to get the exact instance, which is rare, where it normally it has swallowed the fish before the head is out of the water, and here the head just came up out of the water and it still had the fish in its mouth. It hadn't gone down the throat yet. So I was really, really happy to get this shot, because it's really, really hard to get this particular bird with any kind of food item in its mouth, because they're so fast and they move around so much, and they dive, and they pop out. They pop back up 20 feet further away than where you saw them. And you rarely get an opportunity to catch them with food in their mouth. So I was really happy with that one. And that's it.
Worth the money.
That's it for our images for this month. And I will do what we normally do. And for those that have tuned in late, and I'll go back to the beginning, and we'll put each of them up for about 3 or 4 seconds. And so everybody will get a little bit of a recap, and then we will share our comments once we go through this. And like I said, Gustavo has some announcements to make about future shows. Do have a little bit of rumor stuff, but so we'll probably end up, calling it a night between midnight and 12:15 or so Eastern Standard Time here. So let's just go through these few shots here. So the first ones were from Bob Reppert, and we will go through these. We had to have one gator shot for Roy.
Thanks.
And then we got these wonderful shots of the short-eared owls from Michael Dries. And what's an owl without some other bird bothering it? And this one was of a northern harrier, and I love harriers, and sometimes they're at the park, but unfortunately, because of the way the wind direction is, typically they're always flying into the wind, on the marsh side of the road. And so when we do rarely get to see one, it's 99% of the time it's a butt shot, so it's not worth taking. And then he got the young Amish boy on the pony. Should put up a little thing here. It says My Little Pony. And then we got Ralph, who is a new follower of the channel, and this photo image review, and the last one has been nice enough to send in some images for us. Cedar waxwing. This young fella here. Oh dear, oh dear. Silhouette shot.
Yeah.
And the beautiful painted bunting.
That's so good. So nice.
And also the hooded warbler. And then from there, we got into the shots from Paul, a.k.a. Scubarazzi from Prague, that he took.
Prague.
Hey, I like bastardizing words and locations. You know that.
Yeah, it's American treat.
Yeah, these are real nice shots. The statues are cool too. Yeah, this is just stuff that you don't see in our country. We're not old enough, you know. We don't have anything. We don't have anything that wows you like what you have in Europe.
Central Europe is very picturesque.
Yeah. And then, of course, Scubarazzi's going to put, this is the National Theater, and he's going to put his own spin on it with the globe, with the glass sphere that he likes to use, which is great. And as he said, this was just a 2-shot stacked image. And then his little friend, who he caught in various situations, coming towards him, taking a swim. Posing for a flash photo op. And then ultimately decided to be a partner in the photography genre himself. And
he didn't tell us what was his opinion. Did he like the photograph what he saw?
This particular one?
Yeah,
I don't know. Is he still in here?
He's watching. No. I mean the creature there.
Oh, the creature. I don't know. No, what would have been funny is we should ask Paul to put like go in Photoshop and put like a little balloon, you know, with some words, you know, what he's thinking.
Yeah. Looks like have a hand there with a finger up.
Yeah.
He likes what he sees.
Yeah, or hey, can you move to the right? And then we got Terry. We got your wonderful images here. Stole this one out of Roy's backyard, I guess.
I thought there was one missing.
Oh, yeah. There's one less bird knocking on his screen door. And they gotta you and Terry have to share the birds. I hate to tell you, you got to share. And here's your colorful wonder. Is this in your opinion the most colorful bird in Australia?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. And then he definitely got this one from Roy's yard.
Oh yeah.
No doubt about that.
I like to show the environment too.
Yeah, the cockatoo. And then I always like these spoonbills. And then we went to had Luis who I guess felt that he needed tone down the bird images and switch over to reptiles and amphibians or whatnot. And these are shots from Japan, the rat, snake, and then you got this wonderful frog with a flash with a diffusion panel on it. And a butterfly. And, you know, when Luis goes out shooting, he doesn't monkey around, I'll tell you. And then we got some nice winter scenes from David Stewart. The boss. Here's the boss.
Lonely Guardian.
Yep. And then you got some nice wide open spaces here with some fresh snowfall,
Nice.
looks like.
Very nice.
This one's cool. No pun intended. This one's cool. And then he had a good story with the barley and hops and whatever here with this place. And then the Canadian version of the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And then Anita was kind enough to share her images that she took in Portugal, which at Christmas time, which are very tasteful decorations to say the least, and gorgeous, gorgeous. And she managed to be out there, not in a crowd either. It is just beautiful. And these are all handheld too, just for those who came in late. These are all handheld shots. This is at 6 seconds handheld, but you know, on a railing, as she said, to try to keep it steady. You improvise, find a tree to hug, find a tree to lean on, find a railing. And poinsettia plants are gorgeous. They're real deal too, not fake ones. And then Gustavo, you know, entertained us from here on trip to Moab with his family, his son. That ought to get you inspired to go out and as you were saying, Gustavo, the best time to go would be in the early winter or midwinter time frame.
Yes, if there's no snow, that's fantastic. Although the snow make for interesting pictures there, but then you have to be careful to do the trails.
Yeah. I wonder how many people when we first put this picture up, I wonder how many people noticed that there were people in the picture. Yeah. When you had the time, I didn't realize, you know, balancing rock, it wasn't hard to figure out which one it was. And then this one that captures nature with the scenery. And then we got images from with Martin taking pictures, and these were in Paderborn. Coming up here. Water hen shot. And then a dipper, European dipper. And then the beautiful kingfisher. And then a nighttime shot, a panoramic shot, 6 images, I believe he said he took for this one. And then we got some nice images from Jeff Sluter from, let's see, these were at Shaker Village of Pleasant Hill outside of Harrodsburg, Kentucky, coming up here. Very nice shot. Jeff always he can always find deer where he is. He doesn't seem to have any trouble finding deer. Of course, Gustavo doesn't either, for that matter.
Yeah.
And then he got, the detail of the rocks and how they stack the rocks. Some of them horizontal, some of them, upright on an angle. And one that some creature took a big bite out of it.
Probably they didn't have enough stones.
Yes. And then we got some images from Mr. Bixby from Down Under. To be or not to be.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And this is the one you go. This is the one you skip fast. You go and you skip it. And you got the painting, the old film days, the filmic look. The filmic look. And then the macro shot, as Roy says, the bee was there a second ago.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. Yeah.
No proofs.
And then we got shots from Martin's wife, Rena, and her different perspective on wildlife.
That was for us, upside down.
Yeah.
And then here's like, okay, I want food. I want it now. And then a soft shot of the kingfisher. And then from here, our friend Mr. Rosado sent in images from my home turf or near my home turf. Let me find my pointer here so I can go through them. Phoenix Life Building in Hartford, Connecticut, near Constitution Plaza, with the Traveler's Umbrella reflection from the Traveler's Company. My wife has little red umbrellas from Travelers as gifts, believe it or not. I'm like, please don't go out with the red umbrella. Get a regular one. The mural shot. And then trying to capture the illuminated snowflakes with the lamp near the Connecticut Science Center, which is seen in its full architectural glory here in the upcoming image. And then these are some of the steps in Constitution Plaza with fresh snow with no footprints. Nice getting the shapes there in the stairs. The wave, as he called it. A fair amount of statues in Hartford. Harriet Beecher Stowe and Abraham Lincoln statuettes. And then some images that he took in Bronson Hill, Sugar Hill, New Hampshire. This one being a shot that he did a Milky Way shot of with doing light painting that he shared with us a while back, and some different viewpoints of this cabin, different elevation shots, and a friend coming down on skis.
He says he has a fractured rib.
Yeah, he fractured a rib. Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, I told him the same thing. I broke 4 of them when I had a motorcycle accident, plus other broken things. But I had 4 broken ribs, and yeah, you can't breathe deep, and you definitely don't want to laugh or sneeze, or cough. These are random shots.
Yeah, I was amazed with that lens.
Merry Christmas to everybody, and hopefully you had a good Christmas.
In fact, the New Year was pretty good too. Less fireworks, so I slept pretty good.
How does your? I know how my dog reacts to fireworks. Not very well. How did your dog?
He had no problem. He loved it.
Oh, he loved it. Yeah, mine.
Yeah.
Mine hears it before I do, and she's a mess. She's an absolute mess. Really, really bad. And then we'll fly through the ones that I took here. But yeah, I had, even though haven't seen a lot at the park, due to park management, I'm going to say, to say the least, over the years. You work hard enough. Excuse me. You work hard enough and go often enough, you'll find pictures. You'll find things to take pictures of.
This is the image of the day. Right?
Yeah, I wasn't going to give up on those 2, even though they weren't cooperating with me.
Did you offer any money?
I got to start bringing, I think, what do you call it?
Some fish around.
Sardines. I got to bring a can of sardines with me, I think, to bribe these birds, and say, come on, do tricks for me. I'll say, Uncle Jeff wants you to do tricks.
And this one said, why you didn't give me one?
Yeah, he says, he's saying you, bleep, 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 bleep. And that is that. So I hope everybody got some enjoyment out of the show for our first image review for the year of 2026.
Nice start.
It's a nice start, and we all have wonderful stories to tell, and like like I said, Anita to share her vacation, or part of a small sliver of her vacation with us, and we look forward to months down the road sharing with us some more images from for where she was this time, and other places that she's gone, because there's nothing like making up your dream list, your bucket list. You see, you copy other people's bucket lists. That's okay. That's legal. You go, okay, I like where Luis went that time. I'm going to check off that one. And Anita went there. I like that one. And then you look at your bank account. You go, I guess not. But we live vicariously through your images of where you get to travel to, and where people get to travel through, and that's great, because heck, we don't have to buy the National Geographic. We get it. right here on the show. So, and it doesn't cost you nothing. All you got to do is show up. You can't beat the price tag, right? I mean, you get to see great images, and you don't have to pay any money to see them. Works out good.
And this time we got 18 contributors. So the challenge for February should be to have 19 contributors. So actually, we do have 19 contributors because Rakesh was saying that he sent you some pictures, but check if you can find them. If not, we show it, Rakesh, next time. But indeed, I think we should break regularly this year the 20 contributors, which is a good amount of people showing what they could do month after month after month. So Jeff, let me uh, talk a little bit about upcoming. While you check if you receive Rakesh
Yeah,
picture.
I did. I have it, but let's skip ahead, and then we'll jump back.
Exactly. So let me so indeed the other thing that we're trying to do is as I said uh, is to have our pipeline of presentations and contribution uh, here, right? So in the upcoming sections, so remember the next general meeting is going to be an unusual day. It's going to be on a Wednesday, right? That's where we have a world premiere from Sanjit. Uh, and we're going to do that uh, on a time that is better for the European friends. So remember Wednesday, I think it's at 10 p.m. 10 a.m. Eastern time, Jeff, if I
No,
recall.
12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, noon.
So it should be a coming here, but you will get an invitation for that pretty soon, probably late next week or early this week. We're trying to find out a little bit more from Sanjit.
Yeah, we gotta write to him and twist his arm a little bit and say, you're really cramping our style here, man.
Exactly. And he's going to have some people that he invite from, I believe, from the UK as well that are going to attend that day and help with the presentation. Then the next image review will be February 7th. Let's see whether we can get the 20 contributors by that time. And our general meeting here is uh, Joy will be doing a meeting here with showing us some by videography tricks. So I have a title for that one. Still waiting for Joy to send me the thumbnail. And so for that meeting, then uh, for that February, we Luis wants to do a presentation about Morocco. So we see whether we schedule that also one of those Wednesdays. And of course, we got a couple of other presentations in the for March that are still maturing. Right. So we the first quarter is almost ready here. So this is a teaser for Sanjit, the monster, for the what he called the world premiere. Okay, and and as I said here, finally, is that we're looking for some additional ideas, right? For stuff probably now for Q2.
I'm just
So
gonna throw this up quick while I see it.
yes,
From King Crook, how do we share images? I need to get more into photography. Well, what we do is you send them to my email. That's which we can throw up here quick, although the date won't be.
It is on the screen.
is
It
there?
is on the screen.
There it is. Selective imagery 1. You send your photos. It's usually the Friday before. It's the first Saturday of every month. The cutoff is the Friday before at noon time Eastern Standard Time. So at any point in time, you can send me images tomorrow to that email, and I collect them. I don't save them. I delete all the images after tomorrow. All the images will be deleted. I don't steal anybody's work. You'll never see me do that. But I
That's what you
collect
say.
all the images. I put them in the order in which they're received. You send information about the photo, your settings that you used, where you were when you took it, whatever you want to share. Tell a story. I don't care. I'll attach the story and the settings to every picture that you send. And like I said, I collate them, put them in the order, put them into, you know, my Lightroom program, and put them in the right order, and then we do the show. So that's how that works. So at any point in time, whatever images you send will be shown the first Saturday now in February.
Yeah. So indeed, so here are all the details. So you watch the show after that, and indeed we would like to have a lot more people contributing. So I actually got a couple of more photos here, but we can do those. Let's go back to you, Jeff, and show what Rakesh sent you.
Okay, let me.
So let me stop sharing here.
So Rakesh sent a few images. Let me
Keep them for the next month.
window.
Ooh,
A bit cold.
Yep. So this is right from the email, guys. I didn't like suck it in separately, so you're gonna have the, the email in here, but gives you an idea of what the image looked like. And he sent in several.
beautiful.
So here's a. Let me try to get these isolated.
No, you can't do that.
Can't do that. Not letting me.
No, we can see them. We can see them.
You can see them. Okay.
We probably show it in the next show anyway to give.
Yeah, I could save his and show him in the next show as well.
And they are fantastic. They remind me of those photos that Anita took on that place for the ice climbing.
Yeah, it's like these are. I hope you had ice spikes on or whatever when you took these. Yeah, these are cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Literally cool, right? Come on. Get on. There we go.
Wow. Oh, definitely, Rakesh. We will save some of that for the next show.
Yeah, we'll show these again next. Rakesh, we'll show these again next month, and then send some more as well. Feel free to send more. Very nice.
You will be the first to have two exposures.
Yeah.
Once now and once the next month. You have to pay a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, we'll send you the bill for $3.99. We're very expensive.
So what I was showing is these photos here. So if no, let me share. Okay. Yeah, am I sharing? Yeah. So this is basically again from the mod clip, but how to approaching the scene, right? So you will see here several photos of the scenery, right? But taking different elements on the scenery, right? So some of these is switching between the 14 to 30 and the 24 to the 24 to 120 or the 20 millimeter lens. So for this one here, I obviously I was looking at that tree at the back, correct? Yeah, but I was looking for an element that would guide me into the tree, and I found this dead juniper here as an interesting foreground. So then I took the same scene, in vertical, which typically for this type of photo, I like it better. Right?
Much better.
Yeah. So again, trying to get a little bit more sky, more.
You have the leading lines of the trees. That's very nice.
Exactly. Right? And then, of course, then I went and tried to get the actual tree and tried to get the leading lines using the rocks down here. So I think it's an interesting way when you take, you find a place, you got some interesting sky that you can then take the same thing, try different lenses, try different approach, vertical, horizontal, all that kind of thing.
Think out of the box.
Well, or experiment a little bit, correct?
Yeah.
But I thought it was worthwhile sharing as well. Not being as spectacular as the other one, but it's good.
Look good to me.
Yeah.
And my opinion's worth at least 5 cents.
So anyway, we're getting close to we exact the 10.
We're exactly where we would normally cut off. We'll share a few rumors. There was nothing really phenomenal. Nikon rumors is really talk of another company named Tilta now offers a modular camera cage system for the ZR, 10% off. They go from full camera cages, $53, so you get the Pro kit with a front and an attached side grip with a top handle. That's $179. So you got a wide range of pricing depending on how you want to configure your cage. And they also have a mini V-mount battery plate with different configurations ranging in price from $45 to $139. And then they talked about another company called Condor Blue that came out with a ZR cage for $170. But I personally, just looking at the pictures, it covered up the internal microphone slots on the top of the camera too much. So I don't know if I cared for that too much personally. If you were going to use the microphones, you probably wouldn't get very good results. Company called Brighton Star came out with a 35 1.4 full frame manual focus lens. It's $159 on sale. There was an article on using actually a pretty interesting article on using the Sigma 300 to 600 f4 DGOS sport lens. It's not available obviously in a Z mount, but it's a Sony E mount, and they tested it on a Z9 using the Megadapt Pro adapter, and you might find some interest in looking at that. Mikey came out with a autofocus 23 millimeter f1.4 APS-C lens for Z mount for $289.99, and they're saying that Nikon's apparently not going to be participating in the CES show January 6th through 9th in Las Vegas because they can't find them showing up anywhere in the directory that lists all the exhibitors, and they're not showing up. So they're assuming they're not going. And they've gone for more than 20 years in a row. So that's kind of unusual for them to not go to a show that they have quite a bit in the past. Jump into Sony rumors a little bit, not too much there. They're going to announce soon a 16 to 28 millimeter f2.0 GM lens. And then they have a whole ton of full A7V specs and A7V articles that you could read on Sony Alpha Rumors. So if that's a camera that you're considering, then you can get a ton of information on their website about that camera. Fuji Rumors had some fun articles that they did. They had an article on giving a grade to Fuji products that were made in 2025. The XE5, which really is considered, I think now, their flagship APS-C camera. I believe it's 40 megapixels, if my memory serves me correctly. They gave that A+++++. I thought I was buying a Japanese camera where it was mint +++++. not so favorable article on the Fujifilm GFX Eterna cinema camera. I mean, God, that was probably 6 months or longer since the last time we even had any conversation about that new cinema camera that Fuji was coming out with. And so they didn't really give it write a favorable article about it. They used to have sign-in features for network services using Facebook accounts, and that's going to be discontinued at the end of February. The Seven Artisans brand is teasing what they call brand new light series of APS-C lenses set to be unveiled later this month. And Fuji Rumors feels that they're just you're just getting Viltrox Air rebranded versions. But who knows? Canon Rumors, the EOS R7 II to ship in the first half of 2025. Rumors suggest after CP Plus show that wraps up in early March. Not a lot of firm info on that new model except a new 39 megapixel BSI sensor, and they don't know if it's stacked or not. We'll shoot 8K video, but the frame rates and raw capability is unknown at this time. It will use a CFE combination of a CFE card and an SD card, like the R5 Mark II and the R6 Mark III. The EOS R3 Mark II development announcement is coming first week of February, supposedly. Apparently, a lot of talk of this coming out in the next couple of months. Camera, figure if they put out the development announcement, it'll indicate that they're probably going to have that camera for pros to try out at the Winter Olympics. Canon Rumors also had fun with the best and worst of 2025 of the Canon brand. Best and worst of cameras in general for 2025. And surprisingly, Canon Rumors says the best was the Z5 II. And they said not to beat on the R6 Mark III, but they worded it in an interesting way. They said sometimes the best camera is not the one with the best features at any price, but the best bundle of features when you also consider the price. So they put their R6 III as a runner-up to the Z5 II. The worst, they said, is the Canon PowerShot ELPH 360 HSA camera, which was a new model but had basically no improvements from the old model, other than changing the storage system to use a micro SD card, which they said that's not necessarily an improvement. And they took some things away. And lastly, there was an article titled Canon Looking to Outsource Camera and Printer Production. There was an interview with the Canon CFO, Chief Financial Officer, with a place called DC Life, I never heard of. And supposedly lower end cameras and printers are going to be outsourced to other manufacturing facilities to be built, not be built by Canon. But that supposed to happen early this year, and that's nothing surprising because everybody outsources. Nikon outsources, has a lot of their cameras made in Thailand, and Canon used to manufacture cameras there as well, along with Taiwan, China, Malaysia, and other places. And that's just the way things go. I mean, the main thing is, as long as you have your professional engineers and support there whenever you outsource something, and you make sure you have all the right test equipment and the right fixturing and everything else, and people that train people well, usually you don't really have a sink in the quality of the product if you do things right. It can always go wrong, but if you do it right, it's usually seamless and not a big deal. And that's basically it. Like I said, there wasn't really too much, and that's all I have. And so I will. Do you guys have any comments you want to make before we call it a night and say goodbye to everybody?
I got the L grip from Small Rig for the ZR, and I didn't need the cage or anything because I'm going to make it as minimal as possible. And I had the 26 mm on there, so after this, I'll probably go out and shoot some more night shots. But I like the camera. Um,
You have 3, correct? So,
well, I have 4. One is loaned out.
I think in the past you got 4 that you like the camera.
Randall is the only person I know that is actually sustaining and keeping these camera companies in business. Just so you guys know this.
Yeah. Fortunately, yes.
I'm following Roy's footsteps.
Oh, don't do that. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous. Yeah. But I want to thank everybody that came on the panel tonight. I appreciate, Anita, that you came on. I know this probably put you out of your comfort zone a little bit. You did a great job, and a pleasure to have you on. And you're welcome anytime. Anytime you want to come on this panel, the link will be in the chat. You just click on and come on whenever you want. It's a pleasure. Pleasure.
You have this beautiful cat.
Oh, Charlie, yes. He's quite the boy.
Really loving you.
Yeah, I don't know where my dog took off.
Midnight
She left me a while ago. But,
There's my cat right there. It's kind of blurred out.
oh yeah, if you hold your cat up high enough and Randall's cat sees your cat, then we'll have like a cat fight.
It's coming. It's coming.
Now he comes. Yeah. But I think Anita's cat is much bigger than mine. So
Yeah, Charlie's a pretty big boy. I'm sure he's somewhere between 12 and 15 pounds. He's doesn't have any fat on him. He is just solid.
Looks big, nice, solid.
Yeah. Yeah. And he lets you know when it's time to feed him.
yeah, they're always hungry. Yeah.
But, Gustavo, I'll give you a call during the week next week, and
Coordinate with Sanjay.
like I said, we got to get a hold of Sanjay. I'll send him a teaser reminder. See if he's going to share anything with us. Give us a new thumbnail to use for the presentation.
Wow.
Find out how long his presentation is going to be, so that we can, so if it's an hour long and we want to, talk to the European audience, we need to have some other things to talk about, depending on how long he's going to tie things up, which I don't care if it's 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, but it's always worthwhile to see, his efforts in conservation and things that he's doing that are, are really a hard thing to do, to be involved, and really like, you're always immersed in that environment, and it's a lot of sacrifice. It is to get into it to that point. So appreciate what he does. And as Jim is saying here, we wish everybody a happy New Year, and express his opinion here. Be safe, healthy, and wealthy. I don't know if the wealthy part's going to work for me, but I'll take the healthy part. That's what I want. Thank all you guys on the panel. Thank all you guys in the chat that showed up, and make sure you show up for the show if you can, depending on your time zone. If you can't watch it live, watch it the next day at your convenience, or at night when you get home for the January 14th show at 12 o'clock noontime Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to have Sanjay Paul Singh doing a world premiere on our channel again, which is a great privilege for a little channel like us to get the attention of somebody that is world renowned like he is. To spend his time with us is a great.
12 midday, you said.
So Wednesday the 14th.
Sorry?
January 14th at 12 o'clock noon
12.
Eastern Standard Time.
12, yeah. Thank you.
Thursday here.
Yeah, Thursday where you are, it's Thursday. Yeah. The world of the upside down. It's called
Yeah, well.
Stranger Things on Netflix.
The time running differently here. You know, it's falling.
Your clock goes this way.
Yeah.
So do we.
But good night to everybody out in the chat. Go out and
Thanks,
get
everybody.
some shots if you can, and be safe, especially with all the winter storms and stuff. Bye, kitty.
See you all.
Bye
Take
bye.
care.